All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. And I have the brother, Holip Sism, who brings nothing but fire and lightning whenever he comes on with us today. And today's topic is reparations through a check versus reparations through nationhood. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What should we be pushing for? Etc. So hold up. I know the reparations talk has been real strong lately. I know we had the I don't know what you want to call it, that get together last week at the Capitol, in which we witnessed a lot of tomfoolery, where reparations for the most part was made a joke. But a lot of people think reparations is going to be something that we will see in our lifetime. But the question is, how should we receive those reparations? Should we receive it through a check, or should we be fighting for our own nation? Go ahead and or can you fight for both at the same time?
Hmm.
But
Well,
go ahead.
theoretically, we can fight for both. Like I've always been of the opinion that there really is no conflict between people who want to stay in America and people who want to establish a nation state on the continent. The only reason why it becomes a conflict is because people choose a side and don't want to see the advantages or see the value in each one. Like I really don't like I know that I teased them with the Captain America Negro stuff and the militant integrationist,
Right.
but I don't expect realistically everybody to want to go to the continent. You know,
True.
people have gotten used to their lifestyle here in America, and a lot of people don't want to make that transition. That's totally reasonable. I understand that. And a lot of people, just like there's a lot of Jews that are not in Israel, but they support the state of Israel.
True.
So I don't see I don't see a bunch of Jews saying, "Hey, you brothers, you niggas are sellouts because you in America." Nobody's saying that. It's
Right.
like as long as you support the nation state, we cool. But for us, for some reason, it's like it's all or nothing. It's either you got to have all your eggs in one basket in America or all your eggs in one basket in Africa. It's like we can't, we like I said, theoretically and realistically, we can do both.
Right.
But that requires intelligent people in the discussion. And
Which
that's what we don't have now. Like
right.
I'm seeing people walking around with microphones, shoving it in politicians' face, talk about you gonna cut the check, you gonna cut the, and then thinking that that's activism. Like, ooh, you just dropped the mic, like you so deep. You really caught him out there with that one. First of all, nobody has gone through any detailed explanation of how reparations is going to be distributed. So when you tell a politician to cut a check without you having something in place as a description of how things are going, cut a check to who? If they asked you, who do I cut the check to? What do you? I mean, is that an unfair question? You haven't really explained this shit. All you're doing is walking around saying, "Cut the check, cut the check." Cut it to who? I think that's a legitimate question.
I guess each individual Black American who's a descendant of slaves who built this country.
And how do you establish that? You know what? Somebody sent me something on one of my videos. I'm trying to find it.
Hmm.
That went through a full scale explanation of how you the process for which you would determine whether somebody deserves reparation.
Okay.
And I can't find it offhand right now. I'm gonna look for it while we're talking, but it's like very convoluted, a whole lot of talking, and it's like a paragraph or two of shit that you got to do. Mine's is simple.
What is yours? Hold up. Go ahead.
Mine's is simple. We form our own government and have our government deal with the reparations. And if a check is to be cut, the check comes from our government. Just like the people in Israel got a check from their government.
Right.
Simple, because that means that the only people that's going to be subject to getting reparations is people that support the nation state.
Mm.
Simple. And you can have, and it's no conflicts because you don't even have to go to Africa to get your reparations. Support the nation state. Some will go to Africa, some will stay right here. The people that stay right here will be a part of our satellite nation, and the rest of them will be establishing a nation state on the continent. Boom, done.
Done.
But I
Now,
wish I could find this thing.
but many would say that the nationhood option is pie in the sky for the naysayers. How would you respond to that? Hold up, you there? Hello? Hello? Hold up. If you guys can hear me, press 1. Press 1 if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So hopefully Holip hops back on here in a second. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. The topic is reparations through a check versus reparations through nationhood. Hopefully, this has been an ongoing debate, which rightfully it should be. Yeah, you have the Nation of Islam who has a plan for a state within the state. You have Republic of New Africa. So we have the BAIO, but that state's going to be formed in Africa. So shout out to Chima Madu. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Just waiting for Holip to hop back on.
Oh shit! What happened?
You had the Captain American Negroes had compromised your Wi-Fi.
Wow! I was talking, and I'm like, "What the hell happened?" Because I didn't hear.
Yeah,
I got knocked completely off. Where did I leave off at?
You were looking for the article.
Okay. See.
Yeah, that's where we lost you.
But what I was saying, one of the things I was saying while I was cut off was, I don't recall that the Africans that were brought over to America, did they have checking accounts?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay. So we didn't lose our checking accounts. We lost our nationhood.
Right.
Right? So that's what we're trying to repair. We're trying to repair our nation, not our check account. I mean, it's crazy that we have to say that, right?
Right. we had a Bank of America.
Right. All of our accounts got closed.
Got closed.
When we were brought over on the slave ships.
Right.
Oh man.
Bank of America. Wells Fargo. Chase Bank. Yeah, we had all those accounts, all those bank accounts. We were with all those banking institutions.
Right. I think somebody in your chat room said this guy is missing. I'm missing the point. I think Angie X is missing the point. I think that if you wanna get reparations, or you want a check, because that's what the phrase is now. Cut the check, right? Right.
Right.
If you want to check, get yourself either two things. Get yourself a job. That way you can get a check, or get yourself a lawyer, and you personally sue the United States government.
Can that be done? Hold up. How does that look like?
Obviously not, because everybody wants to piggyback. They want to piggyback off our collective struggle so they can get a personal check for themselves. Sounds like I got the point. I'm right on the point of what most of these people is about. They not and what happened, Dynas, to the indigenous Moes?
I don't. What happened to them? They're around somewhere.
Really? Because I don't really hear that we were here first shit no more.
Oh, you think
because before
they
used
gonna
to,
flip the script so they can get in line and get a check?
of course, because last time I checked, they weren't slaves. That's the whole point for raising this Turtle Island indigenous Mo crap. You were never a slave. You were never that's what they say, that those Africans were slaves.
Right.
Us here in America, we weren't slaves.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, where those guys at?
Trying to figure out how they could rewrite history to include themselves into the slave trade.
They're quiet as church mice now. I just find that interesting. It's like all the people, all the we were here first, we weren't slaves. Those were those Africans have all fallen back, and now everybody's ADOS. There's so many ADOS, I can't even count them now. Why?
Mm.
Because they think they're going to get a check. It ain't
Okay.
about nationhood. It ain't about repairing our nation. It ain't about establishing a piece of territory. It's not about establishing a government or any of that stuff. It's about getting a personal check. They feel that they can possibly get a personal check out the deal. And once they get the personal check, that's all that really, that's all they wrote. They're not going to be concerned about Africa. They're not going to be concerned about America. They're not going to be concerned about nationhood. They're going to be concerned about whatever car they're going to get or whatever suit and sneakers.
Mhm. Now, the individuals that receive the check. Now, is that their right to decide what they want to do with the check? Like, if they want to go and give it to Nike and Louis Vuitton, I mean, they have that right, do they?
That's their right if they want to go. See, my problem is this.
Go ahead.
We have an opportunity to restore what was lost. And what was lost was our nation. That's what was lost. So
Mhm.
when you start talking about repairing a loss, then your first thing you start talking about is land. And before you can even get the land, we have to have some type of organized body. We have to form our own government, just like the Jews formed the Jewish World Congress,
Right.
and they formed the state of Israel. You got to have your government, so that way you have an organized body that speaks for you. So if the organized body that speaks for us obtains or is the vehicle in which reparations is received,
Mm.
that organized body can therefore distribute checks to the members of that nation.
Right.
So I'm not for I'm not against individuals getting checks, but I want to put the horse before the cart.
Right.
And a lot of people are putting the cart before the horse. They want to cut out nationhood, cut out government, cut out any organized body, and get a check directly from the US government. When you see historically, how did Israel form? That deal that was cut between the reparations between Israel and West Germany in 1952.
Mhm.
Look at where Israel is now.
Right.
They have a nation state. They have interests outside of America. Jews in America support the nation state. It makes sense to me. If it ain't broke, why fix it? It's like we know how this works. So why are we trying to find something new? And I know why, because whenever you have a government, that means that there's people that's responsible that you can hold accountable. That's the reason why black talking heads and most of these people that form these movements, they don't want a government, because government means that they'll be responsible and they'll be liable for things, and they have to be held accountable by the people that they represent. In this environment, you could just talk this black shit and you don't have to really, you can claim to represent people, but you don't really, because you're not held accountable because nobody really elected you.
Mhm.
It's that vague abstraction that I'm constantly talking about. We love living in the vague, love living in the abstract. What I'm saying is, can we get something? And then the ironic part is they create a hashtag called Tangibles 2020 when you haven't presented any fucking tangibles.
It's the check. The check is the tangible. Like we
Oh, okay.
basically the tangibles 2020 is demanding from the politicians. If we don't get tangibles, you're not going to get our vote.
And you got our vote. Hillary Clinton got about 90% of the black vote last election. What happened?
She still lost.
Right. So
But what
how
they're saying
valuable? So if
is,
your vote is your leverage,
right.
how valuable is that leverage? You gave a 90%, 95% support to Hillary Clinton, and she still lost.
But what they're saying is if they get 96, if she would have
Oh,
got 96%, she would have
okay.
won.
Yeah. Right. It just doesn't seem like. Well,
Well,
I
I would say the brother in the chat room said, hold up, you got to understand the majority of black people are mentally unstable.
oh yeah, you won't get any argument from me. And to be honest with you, it's like the people I don't really blame, because the people can only be a reflection of what the references that they have. If you have no reference to draw from of what an intelligent person is, then you're not going to really be that intelligent.
Mhm.
And I asked the question, I did a video the other day and I asked the question, name a black talking head who's out here in the mainstream talking about black people need their own land, black people need their own nation. Who?
Only one is Louis Farrakhan.
Is he?
I mean, yeah,
He is? I mean,
yes.
he used to be. I haven't really followed him
Well, it's
lately.
here and there. I mean, he still brings it up.
Well, there's one. And
Outside,
Farrakhan is
outside,
basically retired, right? Like he's not really out there like he used to
nah,
be.
Farrakhan is still out there, man. Farrakhan ain't retiring. Farrakhan will
I,
retire when he passes away.
he's still out there? Like he used to
Yeah,
be out there?
yeah. Farrakhan's
Mm,
still out there, bro. Farrakhan won't retire until he passes away, bro. Trust me.
mm.
Somebody says it's on the back of every final call.
That's so we got one.
We got one. We got
One.
Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
Now, but the thing
One.
is, with that nation, do you have to join the Nation of Islam? Because
Yes.
from what I've been noticing, as far as the benefits or any type of perks that the Nation of Islam is saying is for Black America, it's like the only way you can access it is if you join the Nation of Islam. I could be wrong.
No,
I
you're not. You're not wrong. And if anything, they're in a perfect position to get reparations, and you wouldn't benefit from those reparations unless you were a member of the Nation of Islam. And anybody who thinks that that's not the case is an idiot.
But Angie X says no, you don't have to join to unify. No, you can unify. I'm talking about the perks. It's
Right,
like, for example, I'm a Kappa. You can come to the parties and hang out. You got to pay to get in unless you know me. But as far as the perks of being a Kappa, you gotta join Kappa.
right.
So with the Nation of Islam, it's kind of like the same thing. The majority of the perks is you have to join the organization, which it's an organization.
Yeah, I ain't mad at them because at least they have a nation. It's called the Nation of Islam. At least they got one.
Right.
Unless we're gonna all rally be under the Nation of Islam. I mean, I guess a lot of people aren't comfortable with that because they're Christians and they're not Muslim.
Hmm.
So I would figure we would want to do create a government or a nation that didn't have any particular religion attached to it. That's what I figured.
Right.
Because not all of us are Muslims. Not
True.
all of us are Christians. Not all of us are Hebrew Israelites. Not all of us are anything. Some people don't believe in God. Some people are atheists. Are they
Right.
going to get cut out of the reparations just because of their religious beliefs? So we got to form something that encapsulates all of us here in America.
True. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Please hit that like button as you enter the chat
Yeah.
room.
Yes.
Hit that like button.
But what's your take on it?
As far as the check versus, I,
Yeah.
I mean, nations is just the only examples we have of people actually receiving a check are those who had a nation.
Right. Nation was a part of the equation.
Right.
It's no
But
escaping it.
I'm guessing the nation portion for Black people is that I keep hearing is, well, we built this nation.
What does that mean, though?
Do you think that's enough? Hold up, we built this nation, which is
No. No, because take reparations off the table. We built this nation. Use that right now. Without let's take reparations and the whole discussion of reparations off the table and let's deal with our status here in America right now. We helped
right,
build this country. So what? Use that in today's. Why is it that we're still getting disproportionately sent to jail?
right,
Why is it that we're getting disproportionately killed by the police?
right.
Why are we treated like second and third class and fourth class citizens? If we
Six.
built this country, yeah, 6. If you built this country, what's the benefit? Like, where legally do you hang that hat? Or does it just make you feel good to say it?
Makes you feel good to say
Like I said, does the person that stole your wallet owe you your wallet?
it.
I mean, yeah, what they did was wrong.
Right,
Like,
right,
because it was your wallet. I mean, they shouldn't have took your shit, but
right.
they took it. So they owe it back to you. And if you get it back from them, do you go to them to get it back, or do you have to have some like outside, objective arbitrator?
I mean, you could do like what was it Debo in Friday, where he took old boy's chain, and then someone came and knocked him out, and he got his chain back.
Okay, yeah,
I
that'll
mean,
work.
I don't know how would that look in regards to reparations though? Like, who would
You
have
can
to
take
knock
it
out?
back. You can you can take it back, whoop Debo's ass, and get your shit back.
Right.
I mean, is there another option? Because I'm missing it.
Anybody in the chat love to give us another option?
Yogi Fish says, so fight to take it back, not run away to another country. Let's see. How's that? When is that fight gonna start exactly? Wait, we going on 400, right?
Yeah, yeah.
400 years. When is that fight gonna start? And how are you gonna fight? You are smack dab in the middle of somebody else's infrastructure in their land. Where are you gonna get your supplies from? When your soldiers are hungry, what you're gonna do? Call a timeout and go to McDonald's? Does anybody think about this stuff? Like,
You say call a timeout and go to McDonald's.
yeah, what, Popeyes? Does anybody think about this shit?
I'm gonna go to Sylvia's. I'm gonna go to Sylvia's. Call timeout. I'm gonna go to
Where are you
Sylvia's.
gonna get your supplies from? Who's gonna supply you with your arms for this fight? See, people is into all of this feel good rhetoric, and nobody actually thinks about the shit that they talking about. It just sounds really cool.
Mhm.
Yo, we gotta fight the white man. Oh, really? Really? How are you gonna fight him in his land where he controls the infrastructure? He doesn't even have to send soldiers. They got drone warfare now. What you gonna do? Karate against a drone? What you gonna do? UFC? Mixed martial arts against a drone? That's what you're gonna do? I mean, come on, man. Can we get serious? Can we have some serious people in the discussion? Because that's my problem with the whole reparations discussion. There's no serious people involved in the discussion. You got people who's emotional and people who are using catchphrases instead of actually um, organizing the people here in America so that we can have an actual organized body that represents us. Who represents us for the reparations argument? Those people that was on that hill?
At the
That's
panel.
who represents us?
Yeah.
Wow. And y'all talking about I don't get it. We're in a bus with no driver. And can you really blame? This is why I don't blame people who don't want to deal with the collective. I can totally understand the give me a check for myself thing. And you know why people want that? Because there's nobody driving the bus. We're all on this bus and it's just barreling down the highway and nobody's in charge. So if I was on that bus, wouldn't it be logical to say, let me get the fuck off this bus before I get killed?
Mhm.
I don't want to die on this bus. There's nobody driving this shit. This shit will go right off the ledge. So then what it does is it forces people to just think about their own black ass. They thinking about themselves. So I totally understand the give me a check. Because think about it. Right now, how many people in this chat room and on this phone wouldn't like about $300,000 in their personal check account?
I would love it.
I would love it too. So I totally understand the whole appeal behind a personal check.
Mhm.
The problem that I have is that we have a problem as a people collectively that's not going to be solved by all of us getting checks. And the problem is we got our nation stolen from us. That's what was stolen from us. That's what was destroyed. Like I said, when we came over on those slave ships, it wasn't our checking accounts that was destroyed. It was our nation that was destroyed. We lost our culture, our way of life. Can you put Angie S into this conversation?
You know, I was just gonna say the Angie X. Would you like me to send you the link?
Yeah, please.
Angie X.
Enlighten us.
Here, Angie X. Here's my email. Email me and I will send you the link. But I was trying to find the I forgot the young guy that was on the reparations panel, who was against reparations, but at the same time was he's a SoundCloud rapper. I have no one knows how. In fact, let me ask you this, Holip. How do they decide? How do they decide on who's going to be on these panels? I'm like, how did these guys get on
Whoever you talking about the who is it, CNN or whoever is carrying that thing? Anybody that's a bootlicking Negro is well more than welcome to be on there and misrepresent us.
Right.
And Code Ref says, what wealth building resources do you control? Holip Sism? I control the same amount that you do. That's what wealth building resources I control. The same amount that Code Ref does. Can you niggas grow up? Grow up. Why do you personalize everything? We're talking about a collective problem. Stop being a goddamn baby.
Hey, Angie X, are you gonna? I sent you the link, Angie X. So we're waiting on you. I mean, I sent you my email, so I'm just waiting on your email so I can send you the link.
I gave you an answer. I don't control resources, just like you don't. So it's a non sequitur. The question is retarded. It makes no fucking sense. What point? Where are you going with that?
Someone help me in the chat room. What was the name of the SoundCloud rapper that was on the reparations panel? Someone help me out in the chat room. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. I found him. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I gotta show this to you.
Damn, why can I not find this thing?
Hey, this is who's representing us. Hold on. This is who's representing us. So he dropped his SoundCloud album. I mean, hey,
what's the name of the album? Niggas Ain't Shit?
No, one of his songs were "My Dick Works." Pause.
Okay. I see where this is going.
Another song was called, his album was called, his EP, "I Am a Pussy."
Wow. Okay.
He's a columnist for the shitty Free Thoughts website. Cool. I mean, but again, how does a guy like this get on this panel? I mean,
he sounds like the perfect candidate to be on the panel, if you be honest. I mean, what's that diamond and silk come from?
True.
Like anybody that's gonna, if you're gonna not represent the interests of your own people and put other people before your interests, they will welcome you with open arms on the airwaves. People like us wouldn't get on.
No, absolutely not.
There'd be technical difficulties every time we start opening up our mouths.
Oh, sorry, the mic's not working. Oh, guys, we have to take a short commercial break.
Oh Lord. Okay, here it is. I found it.
Okay.
This is so I'm gonna represent ADOS because this guy is ADOS and this is what he says.
Right.
Take a deep breath. We need these things. Number one, Juneteenth recognized as a national holiday.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, a separate category put on the U.S. Census for American descendants of slaves.
All right.
I call it descendants of enslaved Africans.
Okay.
That's my distinction, but you know, whatever.
Well, yeah, it's just semantics. It's just, you know.
Under African American or Black question. Was your ancestor a slave during the 18th century on U.S. soil here in America? Can you trace your lineage, or do you have proof that your ancestor was a slave prior to 1870? 3. Legal description of how to define an ADOS person. 3A, ancestry prior to 1870. B, ancestor may be listed in slave auction roll. C, what percentage of blood? 40%. D, DNA database started for ADOS people. ADOS designation on all birth certificates from those that can prove lineage to those born to future generations. An encrypted database that gives a national ID card similar to Social Security card to the American descent. Like, all right, let's stop right there.
Okay, go ahead.
Stop the show, as you would say.
Stop the show.
Who's doing this database exactly? Because I noticed that he's not mentioning who is the person that's controlling the data.
It's going to be the U.S. government.
Oh, okay. Let me go on.
Yeah. Amira says, I wouldn't ask the U.S. for shit except for a plane ticket.
Well, this guy is back. All of these policies that I see him doing here is stuff that's going to be organized by the United States government, because I don't see him saying that we need to have our own government to do this.
Right.
So this is all what the United States government is supposed to do. So that's the context. 4,
Angie X says, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority have already said it all. I'm not debating with this clown. I don't have the patience.
Thank you for, I kindly accept your white flag of surrender. You ain't debating because you ain't got shit to say. 4, a national ADOS credit union. That's number 4. 2, ADOS credit union locations per state. In parentheses, he has home loan and auto loan proceeds are property of ADOS credit union.
You said auto proceeds.
Home auto loans. Home loans and auto loans. Proceeds are property of ADOS credit union.
Okay. So if you buy a home in an ADOS, I'm confused. Can you repeat that again?
All right. Under 4, he has a national ADOS credit union.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And then he says ADOS credit union locations per state. Why don't you just form your own government?
Exactly, because I mean, the amount of time and energy is going to take to form your own government.
Just form your own government.
And this is the thing. That's why I know you disagree with it. I'm like, just if you're not about forming your own government, then yeah, I agree with just cut me my check, because this right here is just because at the end of the day,
like I said, I understand that. I totally get why you would want your own check, because look at all this. He wants the United States government to do all of this shit, all this laundry list of shit. Form your own goddamn government. I don't get it. But let me keep reading.
Go ahead.
When 400 years is up, well, he has years and dollar signs. When $400 years is up, I don't know what that means. ADOS Credit Union will serve as a main financial center for our people. An ADOS credit union account can only obtain access to account with ADOS ID. $2 million per person, funds released monthly over a 30-year period. Reparations funds dispersed for a period of 400 years. When said person dies, remaining funds become property of ADOS credit union. Doesn't this sound,
Hold on. When said person dies, the funds go to the credit union.
Yeah, doesn't it sound like...
So you can't have a beneficiary outside of the credit union?
That's what he's saying. That kind of sounds like you want to, like, doesn't it sound like a government?
Yeah.
You notice how we dance around this whole concept of government for our people?
Mm-hmm. But we want a government. We just want the United States to manage it.
Right. I'll read more. One per person based on income. No down payment or closing cost homes. Home loan.
Hold on. I mean, that you can get that by just joining the military through the VA loans. Right. It's the people in the military in the chat room is the VA loan that will fund it 100%. So just join the military then.
Right.
I think is it a VA loan? What's the military loan? GI, not GI Bill, but what's the loan
I
if
think
you
it is a
serve in the
VA loan.
military? I think the VA loan is 100%.
Yeah. Like my brother Deontay in the BIO said that a lot of the stuff that this guy is listing is already in effect.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Home loan programs, funds dispersed for a period of 400 years. Two, one per person based on income, no down payment. Oh, is he repeating himself? Oh, auto loans regardless of credit. Personal transportation program funds dispersed for a period of 400 years. These are safeguards, so when we do get reparations, there are very few problems. And then he has number 5. This is the last part.
this is the
Funds.
problem. So, sorry to cut you off, Holip.
Mhm.
So, part of the reparations program, he's talking about auto loans and loans for housing, is to go into more debt.
Apparently.
Okay, all right, go
It's
ahead.
funny how you're funny how he's concentrating on just auto loans and car loans. I
Yeah,
don't get that. Funds for the formation of an actual ADOS city state. Ooh, to serve as a capital for our people.
okay, okay, all
Okay,
right.
we finally got there. The Native Americans have a tribal Congress slash council and a government branch, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Now we're getting somewhere.
Mhm.
That should have been number 1.
Right.
I mean, I disagree with having a city state here in America. I don't think the Koreans or any other ethnic group have a city state inside of the United States of America, but they still doing very well because they have their city and their nation state outside of America. But he has we can set a similar system or mini government that focuses on our ADOS issues. God damn it. Example, Vatican City, Monaco, Singapore. B, an ADOS national flag. C, an official. God damn it, man.
What? What?
See, this guy, he's basically saying we want to form our own government. So then form the fucking government. Why does the United States have to be involved in that? Other
Right.
than just giving you the reparations for you to do it. But you think you're going to have these systems in place inside of America? Wouldn't it make more sense? Like he just said, the last part of his explanation here was the formation of some type of organized body. So why is what I'm saying crazy?
Mm.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's like there's nobody behind the wheel, man. There's nobody behind the wheel. We are running on this bus and there's no driver.
Freddy Cougar, the Freddy Cougar bus.
Right.
Oh, Freddy Cougar was a driver, but we saw how that ended up. We saw how that turned out. Angie X, do you want to come on, Angie? You're more than welcome to
She's
come on.
not coming on because she said she doesn't have to explain anything because it's already been explained by every other black talking head. I mean, that's the argument I always use. When somebody asks me to explain land infrastructure nationhood, I just say, well, I don't have to explain nothing. Just listen to Amos Wilson. Peace.
Hmm. Cool. See what else we got here in the chat room. T. Kelly says Jesus is behind the wheel of the bus.
Well, you're right. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. Jesus behind the wheel. What in the hell was I thinking? We all right then. We're gonna be okay.
Right.
We're gonna be okay. That car is gonna turn that corner with Jesus' help. It's definitely not gonna fly off the edge. Definitely not gonna do that.
So nationhood. What's the importance of nationhood? Hold up. Just so we could just give a nationhood 101 class 101 beginners introduction to nationhood class. There we go.
I think colleges recently did ancestry. What did he do? Ancestry? Did y'all do
Yeah,
different?
he did an ancestry one. Yeah,
Did y'all
he
do the same company or was it
no,
different?
we did different companies.
Which one did you do?
I did African ancestry.
Okay, he did what?
He did. I think just ancestry.com.
Okay, so why are we doing those things? Why are we taking DNA and trying to figure out who the hell we are? Why is that dynamic existing today?
So we can
Because of
find
the
out what
transatlantic slave trade, right?
exactly.
Scattered us all over the world. We don't know what tribe we came from or where we came from or any of this stuff. So we're trying to figure out who the hell we are.
Right.
That was what was taken away from us. Our nation was taken away from us. So since we can't go back in time, we can't Avengers Endgame this shit. The only other thing that we can do is try to repair the damage that was done. And how do you do that? What did we lose? We lost our land. So then the first thing we need to get is land. We need to get territory. When you have territory, you can build on that territory, and they call that building up of your territory infrastructure. There's hard infrastructure, which is the building, the fixtures, the blue collar work, and then you have the soft infrastructure, which is the institutions that maintain those structures, which is the white collar work. So by having your own nation and building your own infrastructure, you therefore supply jobs for the citizens in your land. So you don't have to beg other people for jobs because you'll be creating jobs yourself. Stop me when I start lying. Anybody in the chat room, just stop me. Say full stop, Holip. You ain't telling the truth.
Shout out to Mr. Granger for the super chat. Let me read these super chats real quick. Sorry about that. Mr. Granger, thank you for the super chat. Really beaming, thank you for the super chat. And there was one more. I appreciate the super chats, family. I apologize for not reading them as they come. But go ahead.
Did somebody say stop?
Somebody named Ta Anu says pumpkin breaks.
Is he being sarcastic or is he being
I
because if
don't know.
asked him what did I say that was a lie?
He says misconceptions.
What was the misconception? I'll wait. So he's saying that when you have your own land and you building up your own infrastructure, that you can't employ your own people and build up your own economy, because that's what I'm saying. So he's saying that's a lie. I want him to tell me how it's a lie before I even go on.
Ross says, first thing is numbers of like-minded people who believe in the same thing. Else, how can?
That's not true. First of all, you're lying right off the bat. How many like-minded people is in the United States of America? There's all types of ideologies in the United States of America. And United States of America is considered the most stable government in the world. Nobody's forming no coups and taking over the government. So you're already lying. This whole thing about we all got to be on the same page. Oh, you mean like the Democrats and the Republicans are on the same page?
Right.
How many religions are in America? That's why this whole thing about this, we all got to do this to listen. I made this point before, and nobody's really disputed this point. Not even person is telling me to stop. When you get on the metro, on the train in New York City, and you swipe your Metro card, it does not ask you if you're Christian. It does not ask you if you're vegan. It takes your money like it takes everybody else's who goes through that turnstile.
Right.
That's what an infrastructure and a system does. We're the only idiots sitting up here thinking that we all got to worship the same religion. We all got to have the same mindset. Infrastructure doesn't care about any of that shit. So these guys, so that whole thing about we got to all be on the same page is a lie, because I'll point to America. Everybody's talking about, oh, well, before we do this, we all got to get together. You know who takes that metro line? Hebrew Israelites,
Everybody.
5%ers, Nation of Islam, all sects,
The Moors,
Moors, atheists, all of them got a goddamn metro card, and nobody gives a damn. So nothing. So like I said, nothing that I said was wrong, because if you have your own land, and then so you're against nationhood for yourself, but you support nationhood here in America.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Because the people of the United States government has a territory that it controls, and they collect taxes from their citizens. If you can't collect taxes from your citizens, then you don't have no fucking power. You can talk about the Cherokee Nation and all this other nation this in America. When you file your taxes, who does it go to? Because I think all of it goes to the IRS. I never had to fill my taxes and fill it out and send it to the Cherokee Nation.
Somebody says America is yours. Don't be their citizens. Oh,
What?
here we go.
See, this is what I'm saying, man. We can never really get on point and have the discussions that we need because we got too many fucking blithering idiots and morons involved in the conversation. How can we possibly go on? That's like
Hold on,
me and you,
hold on, hold on,
Dinaz.
hold on, hold on, hold on. It's Moorish law, brother. It's Moorish law. See, brother. See, if you spelled your name Holip in all lowercase letters. See, right now, brother, your name is spelled. I'm sorry, your name is spelled in all lowercase letters. See, if you spell it in all capital letters, that eliminates your straw man, brother. And see what they doing? They doing business with your corporation, brother. See, corporation, corpse of a nation, the dead nation, brother. And so, since you doing business with the dead nation willfully, brother, see, if you was just to spell your name all in uppercase letters, brother, see, then you won't be part of the dead nation and you will be part of your own separate entity, brother. And see, that's what the brother is trying to say. Hold up, that's what he's trying to say. So once you do that, once we all spell our name in uppercase letters and get our status correction, brother, on the paperwork, brother, then we won't be part of this nation, but America will be ours, brother.
Yo, Dinaz, I'm gonna tell you something, and you're gonna think I'm lying. Everything that you just said right there.
Yeah.
I spoke to an indigenous Mo, and you know what he told me? Because I asked him this question.
The same shit.
I said, what happens if we claim our rightful status legally? He said the United States government would have to give back the country. Now let me ask, what's his name? Let me ask, what's the dude that said that I was lying and not being deceitful or whatever? Amen, whatever. Is that true? Like
No,
when
no,
we claim our rightful status, so is the United States government just gonna give because they got like, oh shit, they figured it out. God damn it.
no.
We gotta give the land back. Is that what's gonna happen?
Right.
Because they should be listening to you, not me, right? I'm the one that's not making any fucking sense.
Bro, I swear to God, people are laughing at me like, where did I get this from? I've had these conversations before.
Yes,
That's
it's true.
I've had these conversations before, bro.
So
I've
then,
had
I
these
mean, then we've just solved the problem, everybody. Everybody in this chat room, we have just solved the problem. We have to claim our status as indigenous modes. Once we do that, then fuck reparations. They are going to literally hand the country over to us. They have no choice but to do it because we figured it out finally. And these are the people that are involved in this reparations and nationhood discussion that I'm supposed to sit up here and pretend like these are valid voices. I'm supposed to bring that dude into the table so we can have a discussion. Fuck out of here, man.
bro, I've
It's so
had
funny. You know what's crazy? People are more upset with me than they are the United States government. And the only thing that I'm saying is we as a people need to have our own shit. We need to have our own government. And if checks are to be cut, let our government cut the check. But they pissed off and triggered by me just saying it, but ain't triggered by the fact that the United States government got their foot on their neck. That doesn't trigger them. Somebody just saying that we need to have, because basically, fundamentally, if you break down everything that I'm saying that black folks here in America, descendants of of enslaved Africans, need to have our own nation, our own shit, our own economy, our own ability to create jobs for our own people. And the only person that's against that is a bootlicking Negro.
Oh man,
What you
all right.
mad? I mean, what you mad at me for? What? Why is he hostility against me when all I'm saying is we need our own nation? What is it that I'm saying that's wrong? Or maybe you don't like my tone? Fuck you. That's how I feel about that tone shit. Fuck you. This is my tone. But I'm just one single individual. Who gives a fuck how I'm talking? The bottom line is we need a nation of our own. If I don't say it, somebody else can say it in the tone that you like. Yeah, fuck you too, so STL, STL. It's, oh, wait a minute, STL. I don't know if you know this, but now you do. Clown. Nigga so stupid, man.
All right, go ahead.
But
But,
anyway, what was we saying? What was we talking
people in
about?
the chat room think I'm playing. I have had these conversations, bro. Like I have had these conversations, bro. See, brother, see, if you spell your name in all uppercase letters, brother, see, that is not your straw man, brother. See, right now you using your straw man, brother. So spell
Right,
your name in all uppercase letters, brother, and then you don't have to pay taxes, brother. Well, hold
right.
on. I'm in your barber shop and you have a, a barber license and you got your tax registration right there where it's visible. Well, see, brother, see,
Yo, somebody spent $2 in a super chat to ask what African country is Holip calling from. He just dropped the mic. He just dropped the mic on me. He just dropped the mic on me. I'm not calling from an African country. I'm here in America. Actually, I'm in Brooklyn. So I guess that kills nationhood. Oh shit. He's saying that we need a nation, but he's in Brooklyn. Oh shit. Drop the mic. I killed that nigga. Oh God, man. This is what we supposed to take seriously. These are the voices that we're supposed to have in this conversation.
Mhm.
God damn, man. So in order for nationhood to be taken seriously, Dinez, are you in Atlanta right now?
I am in Atlanta.
Okay, you can't have this show in Atlanta. You got to go to Nigeria and have it
Damn. Damn, kills
because
that. Damn.
you have it in Atlanta. So this totally defeats you. You're being contradictory now. We
Hey,
can't
hey,
have our own nation.
hey, hold up. Todd Anu says, prove that the federal government owns anything. Brooklyn is a corporation. See, I told you.
Oh Lord, see, they're in the chat room.
I told you it's coming
They're in the chat room.
in this chat room.
They're in the chat room. They're proving our fucking point. These are the people that you guys want to have in the discussion. Really? Oh Lord. No one will take you serious if you're not walking the walk. Everyone talks. You mean like cut the check? Like that type of talk?
Mhm.
Oh no, that's valid talk. Cut the check is valid talk. Nationhood talk is just talking.
All right.
That means nothing. But when you hear somebody say cut the check, that's a real serious individual right there. His
All right.
talk, he's not just talking.
Todd Anu, do you want to come on the show? I'll be more than happy to send you the link.
Oh Jesus. Can I get a drink first?
Go ahead. But Todd Anu, if you want to come on, and everyone, thank you for the super chats. Ruby, everybody, thank
Here
you
it
for the
is. Yo, Books for Moses is the most honest person in this chat. He said, I just want my damn check. F all the other BS.
There we
Thank you, Books for Moses.
go.
Thank you. Finally, some honesty up in here. Finally. I appreciate you, for real. I'm not even being sarcastic. I appreciate that dude. Because at least he's being honest. Fuck all of this nationhood shit. Fuck all of this collective trying to restore our nation and trying to get us back to what we lost. Just give me my fucking check. At least he's honest. He ain't on here bullshitting and trying to ride and piggyback off of our suffering so he can get a check.
Mhm.
He's being honest. Fuck all of y'all. Give me my check. And I can relate to somebody who has that mentality because at least they're honest. Stop trying to pretend that this has anything to do with righting some wrong. because they ain't got nothing to do with that. You see an opportunity to get a check, and you're gonna take that opportunity. That's why you was a hot minute ago, and now you ADOS now. I understand. I understand. Makes perfect sense to me.
Okay. Tanu, when you're ready to come on, just let me know. Just let me know.
And let me know too, so I can get a drink.
Oh, you want? Here goes another drop the
How
mic.
many times has Holip been to Africa? I haven't been there yet. Oh shit! Killed that nigga, man, son. Yo, I'm gonna get you a lot of super chats today, son. He is just dropping bombs on me. Why don't you stop? Raise it up from $2. That's all you can come up with.
Hold on 1 second. Elias Money 12 says I'm a more ADOS, but he has an Uganda flag as his profile picture. Is that a Uganda? I swear that's a. Hold on, let me confirm this. I swear that's a Ugandan flag. Hold on 1 second.
Oh shit! Peace, the grace, truth teacher. Peace.
Yeah, that's an Ugandan flag. But
They're
he's
all over
ADOS.
the place, man. They're all over the place. The the freaking conscious community. They Chinese. They Asian. They African. They East Indian. They Native American. They just a hodgepodge of everything.
Mhm. All right, I think we were speaking on the benefits of nationhood
Yeah.
over
Um.
over a check.
Yeah. So if you have a piece of land in territory and you're building up infrastructure, then you can provide white collar and blue collar jobs for your people, and you
Mhm.
also build up your economy because all of those companies that's helping to build your nation up, the workers that's working while the nation is being built up would invest in those companies through 401k like we do here in America. When you have your 401k plans with these companies, you're funding other companies. They put them together into a pool, and that's how you get, your 401k and you build up your resources. We will be doing the same. In other words, everything that we do here in America for America, we wouldn't be doing for America. We'd be doing it for ourselves. Does that make sense?
Right.
That's all. I don't want to get too technical. But basically, when you have your own nation, you control the infrastructure, you control the policy on your nation. So if you have um complete social, economic, and political control over your environment, then if you rise or if you fall, it's on you. You have nobody else to blame but yourself.
Right.
And the funny part was we had it. We had it with Liberia. We had our nation state.
Somebody said, imagine Yvette and Tone as king and queen of this new land.
Well, they already king and queen of the conscious community. They ADOS king and queen. I mean, if people feel like you said, people is putting $500 super chats in for Yvette, so maybe they feel that she's the right person to represent them.
And this is the thing, Holip. I really want this reparations. I really want this W. But I just know the end game will have to be nationhood. But I really
Well, what it looks like, Dinas, is what you suggested. I'm gonna humor everybody and pretend that we're gonna get a check.
right,
You said that you would take whatever money that you had and go to the continent.
right,
I think that all the people who are for building the black nation would do the same thing. I'm going to assume they would do the same thing. I'm not going to say that that's a guarantee because money has a way to change people's perspective. So if you put
Hold on.
300,000,
No, go
you
ahead. I'm
put
sorry. I'm not gonna repeat that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
what did he say? Somebody
Somebody
says
said
something.
in the chat room. I'm not gonna repeat it. But go ahead. Go ahead. I can't repeat it.
It might be fun.
I can't repeat it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
um, If you put $300,000, because that's what the dude that was on there last time when I was with you said, $300,000. That's the figure that he said per person.
Right.
Um, into somebody's bank account. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance whether they'll support nationhood or whether they just start buck wilding.
The majority is gonna buck wild.
Okay.
They're gonna, of course. I mean, come on.
So no matter how you slice it, even under the reparations situation where they paid descendants of slaves, it's still only going to be a small percentage of those people who pool their resources together and establish a nation state. And the nation state will end up benefiting even the people that blew their money. And thank God, because once you've blown your money, you've blown your leverage with the United States. You can't go to the United States anymore talking about racism and discrimination ever again.
Right. And I
Because
I don't think they understand that. Like, why would you want to get a reparation check and then still stay here?
right. Because once the check is gone, which it will be,
Mm-hmm.
um, you can't go to the United States government and talking about, oh, I'm putting in a complaint of discrimination and racism. Like, whoa, hold on, aren't you so and so? Check number two
Yeah.
three nine four five.
Right. Right.
Get the fuck out of my courtroom.
Right.
So yeah, it's like having an organized structure. To me, it just seems like it's ridiculous for me to even explain this. We're talking about having an organized structure over individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pushback to that. People are saying, fuck the organized structure, just give me the check.
Well, they see the organized structure is here in America already.
So the organized structure is the US government.
That's basically what they're saying.
Well,
That the
that dude that I read
structure,
his suggestions, he suggested at the end that they form some type of city state inside of America.
which I agree, but the majority of people aren't, they're not going to support that. They're going to want their check and, special protection.
Privileges.
That's all I keep hearing. Special protection and privileges, which, that'll be nice, but, at the end of the day, it's not going to happen.
So
But
in other words,
it'll be nice. It'll definitely be nice.
instead of having your own,
Right.
you want to have special considerations under somebody else's shit.
Right. But again, we built this shit. Remember? We built this shit. That's the argument. Hold on, we got somebody on the
Yeah,
James.
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. You got a question for Holip?
Nah, really the question is for you. Cause
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
hold on, this shit is I got the crazy echo in my head. Hold on real quick, my bad. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So now here's my question to you, right? Because people, I see people hating in the chat, hating on what homie's saying with the nationhood and talking fresh, but that's trolls. That's what people on the internet do. So, but my question to you is like, people do what they see others doing. Like people lead by example. That's why I subscribed to your channel back when you had like 1,000 followers. You know what I mean? Because I've been on this journey myself for about 10 years. And my question is, how many people do you feel it would take to start a nation? And do you believe the land should come before forming some type of administration, or would the administration come before the land?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Well, obviously, you will want to be proactive. So, see, the thing in the BIO, the administration is already formed for the most part. Am I
Right.
wrong, Holip?
When you say the administration is strong, we haven't formed a government, but
Right.
the elements are in place for a government to be formed. Because you can't form a government if you don't know what you're dealing with. Like we created that platform so that we can find out how many people of like mind actually want a nation.
Right.
And there's
No,
about 50 million people in America. I don't think there's that many people in the BAIO.
Nah, I feel you. Like I think I actually heard about the BAO like maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
I probably subscribed to y'all under like a different email because I don't had mad emails. Right.
Right.
I'm just now getting back into the whole uh internet swing of things. You know what I mean? Because people got bills and shit.
Hmm.
So now that I'm saying I see so much activity going on, like I see so much more interest in Pan Africanism and Africa and all that now than I've ever seen before. I'm 35 years old, right? And I've been on it since like I was like 21 years old. So like
Hmm.
15, 14 years ago, people wasn't talking like this out that available. Yvette Carnell chick, she's like a one issue uh you quote unquote leader, right? Her issue is reparations and for descendants of slavery. Fine. But because she's so proactive and she's I guess what charismatic, she can draw followers and people is following this woman, sending her money, going to these politicians debates and all this. So I feel like if we had such a charismatic person on our side of Pan Africanism with actual direction, we could actually have the same type of momentum towards nationhood. You feel what I'm saying?
I do, but I think it's the wrong type of momentum, to be honest with you. Like a lot of the people that follow these trends, they hop around from trend to trend. It's not like they're not principled people. Like one of the things that I do like about the BAIO is that we have quality membership. Like our membership tends to be active. Like they're not followers. They don't just come in so they can try to, be dazzled by some charismatic leader. They come in saying, the vast majority of the people that come into BAIO come in saying, I have a skill. What can I do to help?
Right. I mean, yeah, but I mean,
Yvette doesn't really have that. Yvette has clicks and views and followers
but
that,
here's the
that translates to absolutely
but
nothing.
but here's why it matters though, because when you're talking about build a nation, building a nation, yes, you're gonna need the best of the best. But running a nation, you got to take the good with the bad. So no matter how much vetting we do, we still gonna have a nation full of idiots. You know what I mean? That we got to deal with. Not the whole nation, not the entirety, but you're still gonna have a segment of society that's the undercast that you're gonna have to address. You feel what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so it doesn't matter if somebody has skills, if they just want to donate money or just spread the word. Some of that stuff can be just as effective when you're talking about starting from the ground up. You feel what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
say, like see me, I got certain skills, you know what I mean? But I might not have certain money. And somebody else might have certain types of bread, but they don't got no skills. You know what I mean? So if somebody wants to send the BAIO $10, $20 a month just because they're inspired from your message, I don't think that shouldn't be a avenue that's explored. You know what I
Whoa,
mean?
whoa, 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 hold on, Jay. Are you saying people are super chatting Yvette Carnell money? They super chat Yvette?
They super chat. They ain't got no money, but they find it. You know what I mean?
But see, black folks ain't got no money. Black folks ain't, see, I do the research. I
Nah,
do the
you.
data. See, y'all super chat me so I can just tell y'all that black folks ain't got no money. See, I do
Yeah.
the research. I
Now
do the
you gave
data.
it a proper description when you called her a misery merchant. Like I had to stop listening to her because a lot of her shit is just too much crying. You feel me? Like I agree
Hmm.
with a lot of shit she's saying, but I'm proactive. You feel me? Like if something is going on, then let's get up and get to it. I don't want to sit there and cry over and over and over because she does bring certain facts. You know what I mean? And I mean, in my opinion, I believe the reparations talks that's going on now is directly from the momentum that she created online. You know what I mean? Because they do have a heavy presence online. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I mean, you can't really pick and choose if it's dire. You know what I mean? Like if we feel like our back is against the wall and we really need to get up and get out and get this nation started, I mean, I feel we should explore every avenue. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying like you said, the BAL has a blueprint for an administration. All you really need now is I don't know what you need. I'm not gonna say what you need, but all I feel is lacking is the momentum. You know what I mean? I feel
Hmm.
like there's enough people to really get behind nationhood to really have a nation. Like this one of the small they got nations on this planet that's only like 20,000 people, 50,000 people. You know what I mean? So I mean you don't have to start with 1 million people. Don't got to
No,
be a
you
million.
don't.
So
No,
I
you
mean,
don't.
so I feel like I understand, join a BIO for certain conversations, but I'm saying from like I would ask Dynus was who's a person with such a large platform, like you got 60,000 followers, you know what I mean? You get thousands of views. I feel personally like a person like you, and other people with these type of platforms, because we could pull at least 5,000 folks that would be with signing a petition, forming some type of voting system to vote on certain things, and actually pay their monthly dues towards actually building a nation. Like if it was $20 a month or whatever it was, to try to put the groundwork in a country of choice. Like right now they're supposedly 10,000 people in Ghana. I've never been to Africa. I can't tell you how many people in there, but they online it says it's like 10,000 folks, Black Americans in Ghana. Like that right there is enough. If all them people really need to,
I would say it's more Black diaspora in general. I don't think it's just solely 10,000 Black Americans. I could be wrong unless you have that.
I mean, it's Google. I can't. I don't know. I ain't got no
Okay,
polls.
okay. Go ahead.
But I'm saying like if just from the Americans that's already there was organized, certain things would have got done. Like I was watching a video you was doing about what was going on with the Fihankra folks, and I did some research on it. And the dude in the Fihankra spot said the only reason they really didn't lock on to the land is because they couldn't pick a chief. You know what I'm saying? So you mean we ain't even organized.
It's more to it than that.
I mean, I heard the murdering of the old ladies and all that.
But even before that, it's more to it.
Right.
I mean, the guy that the land was given to, or given to in quotation marks, is supposed to be selling the land. Or I'm sorry, it's supposed to be
giving the land away, right? But he was selling it, keeping the money.
Sorry, giving the land away to Black Americans, but instead he was selling it. And then if you didn't complete your project within a given amount of time, he took the land back from you. So
right,
he was doing shady stuff like that.
Now I remember because when I first looked up into it, I wanted to go over there and start. I was interested in getting the land because a lady from Sierra Leone is actually who put me onto it, talking about they're giving Black Americans land over there. You should be interested. Go look. And that's when I looked up into the Fihankra organization. But like their website was crusty and a whole bunch of shit was going on. So I was like, oh, nah, it might not even be 100% legit. So now my second question to you was, okay, didn't we already start a nation with Liberia, right?
This is the thing, as far as the ADOS argument, and see, I was gonna name this video "Reparations Through a Check" or "Reparations Through Building Another Liberia." I hear every Negro stalling tactic when it comes to nationhood, and they refuse to acknowledge Liberia. Like
Right.
I don't get it.
Right,
Like,
but see, for me, it's common sense. Like it's already been done. So
Right.
every time I look up, type of questions to some of these Liberian presidents on if Black Americans should return and all, they dance around the question and all that other shit. So, and I see there's no law in place that's specifically stating Black Americans come back with the right of return or some shit like that.
No, if you go to the Liberia embassy site, if you're of African origin, I think you could get automatic citizenship to Liberia.
Okay. All right.
But go ahead. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead.
All right. So no. I mean, I think okay. So that's an avenue, right? So I mean, I know certain things shouldn't be publicized or whatever, but shouldn't we just advocate for some type of Liberian politician that's advocating for Black Americans to return? You know what I mean? I know.
Is that actually happening?
No, that's what I'm saying. But I know there's like this another Liberian girl who YouTube I follow, Philomena, whatever. I'm not sure her name, so I don't want to quote her wrong. But she's a Black American who's over in Liberia, and her uncle or whatever is a politician. I'm like, okay, shouldn't we open up a type of direct line of dialogue between, let's say, some type of administration that we have here as Black Americans with the Liberian administration, so we can try to get some type of right of return, or open up some type of channel or some funnel, Black Americans over there. Because I'm saying if we already started the nation, 250 years ago, so the question would be, how do we re-engage with Liberia? You know what I'm saying? Rather than trying to have to start from scratch, if starting from scratch is such a monumental task.
Can I ask you a question? Because I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you right.
Yeah.
We established Liberia.
Right.
African Americans established Liberia. Are you saying that we need to go to Liberia so we can integrate into the people that overtook our nation?
No.
Are you talking about us as reestablishing ourselves as the leadership of that nation?
All right, so like I look at Google, right, and it says there's about 500,000 descendants of American slaves in Liberia, right? So that's basically our people over there. You feel what I'm saying? But these people, they obviously don't have the numbers to, vote themselves back in. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like Palestine and Israel. My thing is this: if we don't have the numbers to vote ourselves in, or but it doesn't even. That's just it shouldn't even matter because it's still our country. And if he's saying we still can get citizenship to it, then why do we need an additional nation from the nation that we already have? Shouldn't we just migrate to Liberia and get our numbers up if we're looking for political power, or just migrate into Liberia and just adapt to the country?
Wait, all right, that's why I'm a little bit confused because it sounds like you're saying go over there to take it over. I'm down with
No,
that. I'm
no,
not down to
I
go
don't, I
over
don't
there and
think.
integrate with people that took us out of power violently,
Right.
and we're
Okay.
going to
So,
integrate into their system. No,
all right.
give up your shit. It's
All right,
ours.
right. So we get into the meat and potatoes because I'm on the same type of time. You know what I mean? I'm a military veteran. I already know the ins and out on how that situation goes. So my question is this: because I feel personally from reading history, because I didn't even know Liberia existed until like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So most Black Americans really don't even know what Liberia is. I'm saying if we awoke in that consciousness that Black Americans, you already have a nation, come here, then couldn't that be a way of establishing our nationhood? You know what I mean? Because we already have the nation, so we can skip everything else as far as asking for land and trying to set up an administration. We already have a 500,000 descendants of Americans over there. All we need is more numbers. That's my point. Yeah, I'm with taking it over. I don't have to be violently enough. I'm saying I'm with establishing our own over there. That's what I'm saying.
I hear you, but I'm just trying to see logistically how that's going to work. I mean, I'm not dismissing it. That's definitely something to put on the table
The
because
worst
you're
mistake
right.
we made over there was trying to integrate. Like I feel the country should have been split in two. One for just Black Americans, the other for the locals. So
Well,
they
it's
would
not,
have never.
the thing is, especially with Liberia, because my dad used to go. Liberia is so. I'm trying to think of the correct word. Westernized that it literally you wouldn't be
Oh,
integrating to
Jesus Christ,
their
man.
their um
Right, much
basically
wouldn't change.
basically what the American Liberians established is still there.
Right, that's my point. So
It, it,
like,
it's just
Can I
the
just clarify something? Because somebody's in the
go ahead.
chat room saying that I want to brutally take over Liberia. I
Nah.
did I say that?
But see, this is my point to you, Holip, right? Because I ain't want to come at you. I'm from Brooklyn, same way you from. I'm from Flatbush. My thing is
Oh
this:
no, that's where I'm
why
at right now.
that's why I was born and raised. Listen,
Mhm.
I'm saying why even engage with these internet trolls, bro? You feel what I'm saying? Like, who even cares what these niggas is in the chat is saying? Because I'm in the chat all day. I'm tired of typing because I can't get my voice. Like, I don't know if you remember me, Dinus. I was telling you I was moving to Atlanta a few months back. I was telling you I was moving down to Macon. You was like, no, don't move to Macon. That shit is out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you remember. That was a while ago. But
okay.
my thing is this: why to hold up? Why engage with these people? You feel what I'm
Yeah, you're
saying?
right.
If
You're
if
right. I
if we
can't
got
even
a
argue with you. You're
if
right.
we got a mission, if we got a mission, just if you ain't with it, just get rolled over. That's what I'm saying. Like I
Yeah,
don't
you're
even care
right.
about who in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Because I watch so many of these programs with y'all. It's like I feel like we get to the edge of what we really looking for, but then we don't cross it. And I know a lot of that is because y'all deal with y'all have to deal with on the BAIO. I'm saying, but when we have such a large platform and you have so many brothers that's really ready to take action, I think you somebody like Holip or Dynus can really activate those people with the same kind of fire that we see in some of these other organizations that's not even as legit, such as the ADOS movement. You feel me? Even though I'm not really taking a shot at them because I am ADOS, but I feel reparations is cool, but after that, then what? You know what I'm saying? So
So
I'm
that's my thing. After the reparations, then what?
right, and
Well,
I feel
we just going, hopefully they'll make the schools better. Hopefully they'll make the school
yeah,
system.
nah, fuck all that. I'm with taking the money and going back to Africa. You feel
It's a
me?
clusterfuck right now. I don't think that they're gonna get individual checks because I just don't see how politically that's gonna work. It
It's
just they would have like what the brother is talking about. Like his angle actually makes more sense than what they're talking about. Like what he's saying is, since we already have a nation's already, we've already established one. Why not deal with that one?
right.
There's an
That's what I'm
argument
saying.
to be made for
And
that.
I'm saying, and if we wanted to put a politician in, it,
And real
it
quick,
ain't
Jay,
it ain't okay. My bad.
Jay, and hold up, I'm for that. Like, I mean,
Right.
Liberia is our
Our nation. There's no shame in saying it.
Yeah.
It's no shame in saying it. It's
yeah,
our flag. That's our history.
it's our nation. And the thing is,
And
this
I'm
whole, and the thing I hate is this whole, you know, and, you know, we've done shows on this before. Oh, the America came with the Western white man's mindset. Okay, well,
Okay,
then
fine.
that we established, destroy it.
No, no,
Well, we
no.
can't do that. You know, so
No, no,
everything's
no,
still
no,
there.
no, no. It's like this. Okay, we came over there with the Western mindset. Fair enough. I'll even agree. You feel me? Because if y'all was worshiping something else and we came over there on some Christian shit and we light skin and all that other shit, I 100% agree. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not with being an outcast in any nation, whether the nation is run by black people or white people. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying, what? Okay, if we're that different, why not? We'll change the borders and y'all stay on this side and we stay on that side and we'll commune like regular African nations do. We don't have to forcibly be one nation. I don't see what's the pain in that either.
So you're saying something similar to like what Sudan did, where they split and it's
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. Because there's only 500,000 ADOS over there. We could take 20. We don't even need that much space, as far as I'm concerned. As far as starting a nation,
Let
you
me
feel what I'm
ask a
saying?
question. I want to ask a question, and it's a really rhetorical question. What was the economy and the state and the condition of Liberia in when African Americans was in control compared to who's in control now?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah, I want to know.
Shoot, night and day. Liberia was the example of how a black African nation should be ran.
But here's my thing with that too, though, Dinus, because I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, there was no right of return. You know what I'm saying? Going on over there, there wasn't no. Was there? There wasn't no.
When you say there's no right of return, what do you mean?
Like why should I have, like, if the Civil War in Liberia was in 80 something, how come my moms ain't know Liberia existed? You feel what I'm saying? True say
Yeah,
they not gonna teach.
you understand that's not the fault of, I would say, American Liberians. That's the fault of the negative propaganda they put out about it, and that's
No,
nothing. That's just the American guy who, I mean, the people who control the media.
no, but I'm saying, like, I'm saying if these people were Pan-Africanists, right, in
Who?
Liberia,
Right.
the Liberian administration, why is it
Right.
that every Black American knows who Nelson Mandela is, but don't nobody know who the president of Liberia was? You feel what I'm saying?
But
Propaganda. That has nothing. I agree with Dynas. That has nothing to do with them.
yeah, that has nothing to do with them. That's, I mean,
I'm
and
saying
then
there
You
should
got
have
to
been a little bit more
understand. You,
outreach from the
you got to
Liberian
understand
administration.
something. You got to understand something. You're talking about a country outside of America. How are they going to control American propaganda?
No. I'm not saying the proper. Well, all right, you're right. I probably missaid that.
and James, not to cut you off, if you read the old Ebony magazines and old Jet magazines, they covered Liberia a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
A whole lot.
Right.
In fact, to be honest with you, I'm thinking about, Ebony and Jet pretty much have flat folded. I'm thinking about, they're selling the pictures. I might try to bid on some of those Liberian pictures, but they cover Liberia before the coup as far a whole lot in
Right.
Ebony magazine.
Then where's the failure? Who's to blame? Other than, like, I understand the United States government is to blame,
It's
but like, so I
it's
mean, I
the
guess it's just water under the bridge. So all right, so here we go.
No,
We
it's
got
a lesson.
it's a
Listen.
lesson learned, right?
I said this before. This is not really like when you have a nation that you built and it was successful and it collapsed or it was destroyed or whatever. That doesn't mean that nationhood stops. It just means that you have to learn the lessons from that.
Right.
And it's the same. And I use that analogy all the time about a football team. If your football team doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, you don't tear down the stadium and quit playing football. You
See,
try to
what
get other players. You try to
oh,
learn
okay.
from your
Whoa,
mistakes.
hold on 1 second. Ta Anu, are you a Nuwabian? I need you to answer
Oh,
yes or no,
Jesus
because if you're a
Christ.
Nuwabian,
Homie's fake, because you told him to send,
but this is
send
the
the link
thing.
10 times. He ain't even
I
respond.
kind
Like,
of want to send him the link, because if he's gonna present some information from Dr. York, I could go upstairs and get a letter specifically from Dr. York that he wrote me personally, saying that he's Liberian and he's moving back to Africa and he's African when he gets out.
right.
So, are you Ta Anu? Are you Liberian? I mean, I'm sorry. Are you a Nuwabian? I'm seeing you got Dwight York paperwork. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the point I was trying to make, but basically, I'm gonna say this because I hear when we say the nationhood part, right? I'm with it 1,000%, and I'm gonna go re-sign up to the BAIO. It's just because I just be mad busy. I'm a game developer, so I'm on that right now. I'm doing a lot of work trying to get my game out, and once I'm done, I'll I can focus 100% on this. But because I feel like this, if you're talking about curing the people, right, or establishing some type of some type of line of defense for Black Americans, one type, an administration is the answer. A nationhood is the answer to, like you say, a nation is the answer to everything we need. So I'm saying, like,
And the
why
only
not?
way you're going to get that, son, is if people see what I'm trying to get people to understand is this: we have to eliminate this sitting back, eating popcorn, watching Dynas and Holip or whoever twisting the wind. Niggas need to get involved and get into the game, man.
Right.
If you have a skill, bring that skill to the table and say, what can I do to help my nation? If you're not doing that, then this is just fucking entertainment. People are sitting back entertaining themselves with the struggle.
Right. But see, this is my question to you though. Well, how do you use those people? You feel what I'm saying? Like
We
some
got to know,
people.
well, those people we using are in the BAIO. I can't use nobody who hasn't made a decision. If you can be on YouTube, because you on YouTube and you got a username. If you're on Twitter and you got a username, and you're on all of these social media platforms with your username, and then when I say join the BAIO, it's like this hemming and hawing. I can't take you fucking serious.
Right. See,
It's
because
a
this.
free social network. If you believe in nationhood, why haven't you joined? But you on
Right.
YouTube?
Right.
We
Now,
you
but
acting like we asking for blood and urine samples. All we want is for you to join up to a free network with people of like mind and start communicating and dealing and meeting with each other. That's
right.
it. If you can't do that, then I don't take you seriously. You're not going to organize on any serious level if you can't do the bare minimum of that.
Right.
That's how I feel personally.
But see, but that's not kind of. It's kind of not how. Like as far as like getting people involved, I can understand your point. What I'm saying is that's not how people work. We don't. That's not how society works. This like in nowadays we live in an instant society. Just from getting people to be on listening to this chat for an hour is remarkable. You feel what I'm
But you
saying?
but
So
you said that I'm not disagreeing with you, but your key word in what you're saying is society. You're talking about something that's already established.
Mhm.
We haven't established a society. And in order to establish a society, you have to have a strong foundation.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The people that's going to come in have to be people that want to get shit done and want to bring their skills to the table so we can have a pool of resources to pull from. I understand everything that you're saying, and I don't disagree with it because you're right. In a society, yeah, you just want people to join and people, you want to have that energy, that ability to go viral. I get that.
It's not just viral with words, but viral financially. It's like the people. What I'm saying is, if you doing the work, or we doing the work, or just from the 10, 20, or 100 people that's in BAI who's capable of doing it, let them do what they doing, and let the niggas who watching watch. And all you gotta say is, yo, if all you could do is watch, or if all you could do is super chat, take the super chat. If because I'm seeing it sitting watching niggas like the Mac dude in LA. What's his name? I forgot.
Tariq
Tariq
Nasheed?
Nasheed. I'm seeing niggas super chat this dude $100, $50, $200, $900, $90. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't talking about, he dropped knowledge, but he's not talking about no forward movement. He talking about his reparation shit.
Yo,
Now
son, I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you, I can't speak for anybody else but myself. I'm not taking the fucking people's money until we get something established that's working and reliable and transparent. I'm not taking their money.
right,
There's a reason why I don't have my channel monetized. I'm not doing it.
right.
I'm not gonna do it. If we really want to start collecting money from the people, then we have to be serious about it. Because our people have had their hearts broken too many fucking times.
I remember when
And
you spoke on
I'm not gonna be one of those people that breaks it again.
right.
So if we're gonna start asking for money, we better have our shit in order. Meaning we better be organized.
All right, I can
And that's
respect
what
it.
I'm about. I'm about the BAIO being organized. And if we do decide that we're going to take funds publicly, you best believe that shit is going to be on point. All the T's is going to be crossed and all the I's are going to be dotted. It ain't going to
Right,
be no bullshit GoFundMe or some Patreon shit.
right.
It's going to be a
Well,
legitimate fund where it's transparency and there's if people have an issue or a problem with it, they can call up and speak to them.
okay. All right. So here's my question to you then. Uh, as far as Liberia is concerned, right?
Hmm.
If we wanted to re-engage or just reactivate, you know what I'm saying, some type of pipeline between Black Americans going back to the continent, going back to Liberia specifically. What do you think we have to go through? Like, say, some type of. Do you think we should establish some type of administration here? You know what I mean? Some type of what is this embassy here to like motivate people to go back to Africa? Because I'm saying, like, okay, we have Liberia. I'm thinking we got to get a politician in there on our behalf to advocate for Black Americans, even though we technically don't, because Dinah said they already have some type of right of return or free visa or whatever for Black Americans.
Wait,
You know what I'm saying?
Let me point out something.
Are you talking about Liberia?
Yeah.
Well, Liberia's the citizenship laws or clause, whatever you want to call it, states that if you're of African descent, for the most part, if you establish a residence there, you should be able to get your citizenship.
So all we lacking in like
they weren't clear on the and the thing about it is with the as far as the law to gain citizenship was established by us.
Right. And now, so basically what you're saying, all we lack in Liberia is numbers, technically, or in money. Because if you want to put a politician in there that you want, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta finance it. Right? If we wanted to,
hey bro, you gotta mute yourself, man, or turn your video off. You're excellent.
Who is that?
That's Patah.
He's on the phone, or is that on the computer?
Nah, he's on his computer.
He's on his computer. He's in the chat.
Oh. Somebody said that I'm not a good representative of the BAIO.
Who cares? Man, who gives a fuck to niggas, man? I'm from a school where you slap niggas who say stupid shit. And if I can't slap you over the internet, I'm gonna just ignore you.
I know you from Flatbush, son.
Yeah, I'm saying I can't
I know you from Flatbush.
You know what I'm saying? This internet shit will get your blood boiling, bro. Like
exactly.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead, fellas. I gotta make a move.
All right, man.
But yo, Holip, it's been a pleasure. Dinus, has been a pleasure. I'm gonna keep on following. I'm probably gonna I don't know. I don't be getting alerts to your live streams. It's like my first time.
You gotta hit the notification bell. You gotta hit the notification bell.
I do. I probably subscribe to too many channels. All right, brother. I gotta get out of here.
Okay. Hey, Todd, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, brother.
Peace. Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't indifferent to what the brother was saying. What I was trying to point out is he made a statement that we got to find land, and I feel that's an error because he feels that the United States owns something, some land or something. And I'm trying to show. Well, hold on. Let me finish this one point. I was really trying to demonstrate the fact that in 1836, since that point in time, all the lands were ceded back and issued back in land patents to the native tribes. That's why they call them territories. Chippewa territory, Choctaw territory. And my challenge to everybody is right now is if you trace your history back to your great grandparents, where you got 32 parents, how much of those 32 people were Native Americans with tribal reservation status? That's a challenge. I don't care what your DNA say, but if your great grandparents had tribal status, man, you was part of those tribes. We got to understand that Africans been coming over here to and fro, trading from in Egyptian times. Who disputes that?
But where did you get that I wanted to land the United States land? I'm always been talking about land on the continent. The United States don't have no control over that.
United States got just as much control of the land over there than they do over here. That's why they pay out all that money. That's just like they don't own the land over there, they don't own the land over here.
I don't want the land over here. I'm talking about land on the continent. And the people that's going to be. But let me clarify. Let me clarify my position.
You can't claim reparation with that attitude, though, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Son, can I clarify my position? I mean, I'm on the phone with you. I know what I'm saying. Can I explain what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My position has always been, if you're going to get reparations from the United States government, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about ADOS. That's a specific conversation that we're having. Yeah. What I'm saying is that reparations should go to your government, not the United States government, our government.
I got no argument.
And if you want to negotiate land, you'll be doing it with an African country, not the United States of America. So let me just clarify that. I don't want nothing from the United States of America, except if they're going to give reparations, then let them give it to our organized body. I'm not even willing to accept the individual checks. I think that that's bullshit. And all it's going to do is more damage to us than anything.
Because you're going to give it right back. But however, how you going to say, right? How you going to make a claim like you don't want land from here? What are you doing to your ancestors that was here? What about your claim and your heir to shit here?
Okay,
what about it?
You got to claim
about it?
Hold on, let me answer this question. Okay, if you can prove that you are Chickasaw or Choctaw, then this
exactly
this conversation doesn't apply to you. I mean, it's
right.
easy.
But they paid out reparations already for that. But we talking about a remedy.
Okay.
So why are we talking about Native American shit?
Why are you here?
Because my challenge, because you're dealing with reparation and Native Americans was put in slavery. The black people in slavery, we're saying the majority was for Native American.
And that's not true.
It was tribal.
That's not true.
We had one proof. We had one fact that in 400 years, 308,000 slaves came from Africa out of 4 to 7 million. Prove that false. Prove that false, because I could bring you facts to show.
Wait. Oh God.
You can't prove that to be false. You can't prove that America did not cede the land back to the different nations. And you can't prove to me, none of you out here can prove to me that if you go back to your 32 grandparents, when you got 32, your great grandparents, that half ain't got tribal status.
Wait. What point are you trying to make?
My point, the most important point that I'm trying to make is who you are. What's your status? Because your social security number documents.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the population thing. What was the point that you was making with the amount of African slaves or whatever?
Because the black Native Americans that wrongly called Indians, we don't call ourselves Indians, never did, but them people was put in slavery first before the Africans came. The Africans ain't come till 1609, 1619, they say. From 1500s. They've been putting y'all parents in slaves. You were the first slave. That was called Negro over there in Seville, Spain. Columbus took you from here. They was called Negroes.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. You know that your own people don't agree with you?
I'm talking about facts. Negroes don't know nothing.
No, I'm talking about your own people, the we were here first people, they don't agree with you.
Who don't agree with me? Who we were here first?
They're saying that they were never slaves. The Africans were slaves. They weren't slaves.
That's not true. You don't get.
Glad you clarified that.
You might get a $5 Indian to say that.
I'm glad you clarified that.
I'm talking to the Chippewa people. I'm talking to the Creek down there in Indian Creek, Georgia. The brother still black.
Okay, brother, slow down. But again, if you are an indigenous American, then this doesn't apply to you. I don't understand
How could you say that if our people were more of the slaves? In 400 years, only 308,000 Africans came. Out of 4 million, the rest of them was us. And I'm saying it's you. We all a mixture. But why are you gonna just not count your one heritage because they taught you was black and go back to Africa?
Okay, so again, if you can prove that you are
so you double dipping,
then there's no point. Then there's nothing.
So wait, you double dipping? You're gonna form treaties with Native Americans, and now you're gonna piggyback on the African slavery too?
Nah, there's no such thing as African slavery. First of all.
Oh, really? So there were no African slaves?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the Indians, the black Indians, were the ones put in slavery.
Hold on, brother.
Hold on, brother. Are you jumping over there? Trying to run? You're running from that. Stop running. I ain't let you run.
Brother, brother, are you a Nuwapian? Are you a Nuwapian?
Yeah, I'm a Sabian. Yeah, I'm a Nuwapian. Nuwapian was a time.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. You got stuck in one of Dr. York's schools. And
I understand he's a Liberian diplomat. You got a chief of a Sioux nation that's
we done went completely off the rails in this conversation.
I'm telling you the truth. You could be a Liberian diplomat. Anybody could be a Liberian diplomat.
No, but okay, Dr. York is Sudanese.
Okay, but his mother was from Ben York, who was a Native American. You see what I'm saying? Who has signatures? Who dealing with the Louisiana Purchase? So you got black.
We have gone completely off the rails with this conversation.
Only to you because it's above your head. I'm trying to raise you up.
You're right. I agree with you 100%. It's way above my head. It's way above my head.
This conversation about reparations. Let me say this is the other most important point that I heard you making fun about a very important subject. Why we failed. We're failing with that mentality. Let me tell you why. We made a comment. I'm telling you the truth now. You're not going to be able to proceed any form of fashion, be successful, unless you understand that the United States is a corporation. And Donald Trump is
Oh God, I told you, Holip,
prove it wrong. Let's not be children. Prove it wrong, because you're not going to be successful until you mature to that level and deal with that
so
level of
this, brother.
You got
Hold on. Okay, brother. So let me ask you this, please. Don't take this the wrong way.
Go ahead.
We have all this right knowledge. Why is Dr. York still in prison?
Didn't I just send you the paperwork? They signed that on the 14th. About, let's say, 45 days from the day. If you don't see him out, I'm gonna come back on your show and say, well, damn, I failed some kind of how.
Whoa, what?
Hold on. You have a paperwork that being signed since Dr. York's been in prison?
Nah, brother. The paperwork I just sent you, you ain't look at it. I'm telling you that that's part and parcel of an event that's taking place. And I'm fucking saying, in 45 days, if he ain't out yet, I'm gonna come on your show. And you can
How long has he been in jail?
Since 2000,
this month. That's all I'm saying.
How many years?
New process.
How many years?
Maybe about 14 years now.
Nah, 18, going on 18 years.
Well, what happened during those 18 years?
Hold up.
That's beside the point right now.
No, that's not beside the point. I wouldn't be. Why is this guy chilling in jail for 18 years? Why wasn't this plan implemented and get him the fuck up out of there?
Because of you know why? Because everybody, not everybody, majority of the people that been running the show got your mentality and don't realize it's a fucking corporation they're dealing with. That's why I just.
So the reason why he spent 18 years in jail is because America is a corporation?
That's silly, man. No, the reason
you just said that.
The reason he is not out of jail yet is because the people who approach, just like you, they got your mentality. So they did not approach.
Can we please let's just chill on the ad hominems and let's deal with the issue. Like, could we do that just for the sake of this conversation?
Arguments and make fun.
Hey, hold on. Let me read this. Hold up. Let me read this. And see, this is the problem. So I'm gonna read your paperwork, and I'm gonna read what Dr. York sent me personally.
I understand that. He's a Liberian diplomat.
Okay, I'm gonna read sent me personally.
Why Liberia ain't got him out yet then? Why Liberia?
How come you ain't got him out?
That's what I just initiated my process. Just started.
So they had to wait for you to initiate the process 18 years later to get this dude out of jail?
I had to wait for me to be able to do the right thing.
Wow.
I was prepared to do it. I was believing the fraud like you.
So you were the reason why Dr. York has been in jail for 18 years? You?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I
wow,
apologize.
yeah, you owe him a hell of an apology.
Happy birthday to Malachi Z. York. Free Malachi Z. York. I'm late for your birthday. I was trying to get it done, but hey.
Hey, let me read it. Hold on. I'm just gonna read. Hold on. Let me read some of this. Hold on. Okay. This is sad because let me just read some of this.
It's sad that I'm trying to give you two keys to
why you. Let me read, brother. Let me read part of this. In fact, let me share the screen. Hold on. I gotta share the screen on this. Well, hold on. Yeah, I want you to see this. Hold up. See, this is what I'm talking about.
This went off the rails, you know.
I mean, hey, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on one second.
Go ahead. I'm down for the ride.
I gotta show. Hold on.
Ain't none of you can prove to me that y'all don't got no Native American in your family. None of you black people out there in America can prove that. And I'm willing to bet you that if you go back to your 32, you're gonna have more than 8. And that's being quite. I never seen people with less than.
Okay, so let me read this.
Never.
I'm gonna stop right here. Anti-Litem notice of commercial dishonor and violation of treaties. Turtle Island, Washington Territory.
Because that's on the deed. That's on the deed where that prison is. The person that owned the land. We got the deed, brother. I got the deed. I seen the deed. It's on the deed, bro. You got to use that. That's the territory. You're not American.
Let me say this. Number one, what Dr. York was convicted of is absolutely disgusting. But what we're doing now, we're just
do you believe that? Do you believe that foolishness?
Absolutely. Now we're just making this a joke now. I mean, it's a joke.
I mean, do you believe that foolishness that he was? I'm glad you put it up there because they be trying to pull up.
My frat brother was a lawyer, by the way. My frat brother was a lawyer.
Wait a minute, didn't he confess?
No, he didn't confess.
He didn't.
He confessed.
No, he didn't.
I mean,
He didn't
Really?
No, he didn't confess. He signed a plea, but that's not a confession to the charges.
What was the plea?
He signed a plea to the commercial charges. The 135 deposits of over $10,000 in 1 month without
they got him on RICO Act.
Mail fraud, like it did the NAAI Marcus Garvey. That's what he got. What he pleaded to. Not the molestation and all that stuff. So y'all want to believe that, don't you?
Believe what?
That he some pedophile and all that.
Why would I want to believe that?
Because you're asking me like you a believer. You sound like those who believe. That's why I said
you sound kind of triggered and defensive about this whole thing. I'm just asking questions.
But you was saying a lot of foolishness earlier about
actually, I wasn't saying foolishness. I was exposing the foolishness that you were saying in the chat room about this whole crap about we all got to be one. We don't have to be one.
I never made that statement. I didn't make that statement. You weren't talking to me. You ran from my topic, brother. My topic was proved to me in 1836 that this all the land wasn't conveyed back to the Native Americans.
I can prove it. I can prove it. We are.
And if that's true, then America got to be a corporation tricking you left and right. Got you believing whatever you believe now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Prove it. Oh, shut up. That's what I said. That's what you.
So when you go in, let me ask you a question. When you go into the courtroom, right? When you go into the courtroom, what jurisdiction are you under?
When I go to the courtroom, I go to it's called an ancillary jurisdiction. I invoke that ancillary jurisdiction. I'm coming to get paid. I only appear to get paid, and I'm successful.
Do the courts have any jurisdiction over you?
Detroit, why they don't take no property?
Do the courts have any jurisdiction over you?
Huh? No.
So then why do you show up to court?
Because I'm here to get paid.
If the court issues a summons and say you need to come on this particular date, why do you go if they have no jurisdiction?
To get paid.
Get paid. It's not about getting paid.
To me, it is. To you, it ain't.
So then why don't you not go? Let's say you don't go when there's a summons. When there's a summons for you to appear in court, let's say you don't go. Why don't you do that? Why don't you just not go to court?
I have not gone to court before, and they put a bench warrant out. If I know I got a court,
then what happened?
I call and dismiss the warrant. I send a fax because I got UCC's file. Like I say, I will have a UCC file in that court.
I got a question. Okay. So this is my question. So you're saying, brother, can I talk? And I'll pass the mic back to you. So you're saying, before the white man, that there were Africans over here, that Choctaw and Chickasaw were Africans. What you're saying?
Are you saying that it wasn't?
I'm asking you a question. Were the Choctaw and Chickasaw Africans? Yes or no?
They were Negroids.
So where did they come from?
They crossed when the continents was joined. They was been over here from then, before continental drift.
Okay, so they changed their name from Yoruba to Maasai.
Yoruba didn't exist. Whoa. Yoruba not an ancient tribe or an ancient name of a tribe.
Oh, really? Yoruba's not an ancient tribe, really?
Well, I mean, post-law.
Yo, Dines.
Really? You share the history with me because that's what they said. They 700 AD. That's not ancient.
Dines.
I mean, is Yoruba pre-dynastic Egypt? Because then when you talk about ancient, and before that, you're talking about the old ones. So what do you have to define ancient? Because I don't define ancient. Me and you don't have the same definition of ancient. I don't know if you got it from Webster Dictionary or what, but I don't do that.
Can we do a future show about this?
Yeah, but I want you to come back because you're not answering my question. You're talking about you didn't talk about in the chat. Do you understand, yes or no, that this land was ceded back to the Native Americans, who was black people, back in 1836, and y'all own this shit from there? Do you concede to that?
No.
Prove it wrong.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't. I don't concede.
Go prove it wrong. Go prove
you wrong. Oh, I can prove you wrong. When you file taxes, who do you pay taxes to?
I don't pay taxes.
Who do the people in this country pay taxes to?
The citizen of the Randall Sism, right? The citizens of the United States pay tax to the citizens of the United States.
So who do you pay taxes?
And if you live in a state, if you're a franchise citizen, you got to pay taxes to the state because you control.
What state? I thought this was Native American land. What state are you talking about?
The one that you part of. It only exists.
Oh, so this is a conspiracy where you have 300 million people a part of United States government, and they all fooled into paying taxes. How many of the percentage of the people don't pay taxes, and where's their government?
I just told you don't think the Cherokee got a government? The Chickasaw Arna got a government. Ali Muhammad is a brother that's not fooled, and he got a government. It's called the Aboriginal Republic of North America.
That's what you're a part of.
You're talking about doing.
That's what you're a part of. That's what you're a part of.
Hey, why not be part of some of that work?
I'm asking, are you a part of that government?
I'm a part of the Moore Science Temple. I'm a part of everything. I'm a part of a lot of things. I'm a part of a lot of things. What they got to do with it?
Christ, man. Yo, let's do a few.
Look at you crying out too. You see what I'm talking about? Jesus Christ. Don't go to Africa.
Yeah, you got me summoning up Jesus Christ. I ain't even a fucking Christian.
Shit, Jesus Christ. Listen to you, man. I'm in Ross something. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. You shouldn't even say amen. That's in the Bible, be honest with you. Just to Ross something.
Dynass, can we move on and get into a show? Because this is bullshit.
You got to prove me wrong. I want you to prove me two things. Because you probably a light-skinned brother. Go back in your heritage and tell me that how much Native Americans and what tribe they come from in your family. Tell me how soon grandparents, great-grandparents, how soon do they show up? And by the time you get to your 32, how much of them? I'm willing to bet you about 25, 27 of yours is Native American. Might even have an African in your lineage. Y'all talking about you know I'm talking about Jesus Christ. How you got African in your blood and you crying out to that? You a Native American. Prove to me you ain't no Native American. All of you out there, prove to me you're not no Native American. If you 1/8, you Native American. At least to get some money, you get your money. Let's get the reparation paid already. Then another thing about that SES2K trust, I hope you're listening, because that's real. That act, they have paid you. They have paid you your reparations. They can't tell you no goddamn law about 40 acres and a mule and not pay you.
Let me ask you this. So, whoa, but see.
From time you 9 years old and it's in the back of every dollar bill, you got your account printed money. Come on, man. How much dollar bills I got with my number from the back of my social on it? I ain't telling the paper. I'll be filing the proper paperwork to recoup my shit.
All right. Hey, but let me ask you this. So since Holip is copper colored, Hennessy colored, that would make you
bro, you know who I am. I met you all.
He's a copper colored board. He's a copper colored board. He's copper colored. He's
a Tawny Mo. He a Tawny Mo for real. I win the bet you, brother. You cannot go on your heritage. You probably got some registered Nanticoke Moors in there. You from New York, right? You will not pay or something. You a Nanticoke Moor. Prove me wrong. You got to prove me wrong that you don't got all them natives in your blood. I challenge everybody out there. Go trace your shit back. And how much of your grandparents?
We gotta move on, bro.
But you can't get reparation without knowing that. Any other discussion is some minority.
Okay, hold up. See, hold on, let me break something down. See, these are some of the monsters that Dr. York created, man. I mean, it's just
it's impossible. You can't have a rational conversation with these people. And then there's people in the chat room say, "Dude, he's speaking the truth." God damn it, man. I tell you, I can't, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. We can't even get to the point where we can do anything effective because we have so many fucking clowns involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
And then it takes it, like, do you see how far we got taken off from the topic of this show?
Yeah.
Only because one clown, oh Lord. It's crazy, man. And this is why, like I said, we have to have intelligent people involved in these discussions, and we have to have people that work in the interests of our people. You know, these guys are actually taken seriously, and they have followings.
And the thing is, Dr. York's case has been going on. I mean, he's been in jail for, well, Dr. York didn't go to jail till like maybe 2000 and, well, he's been in jail for over a decade, almost 2 decades.
Right. And this guy is just now deciding to get him out.
Yeah, just found it out. Just found out the way to get him out.
He'll be out in 45 days, according to him.
You do not understand how many times I've heard this. I mean, golly. But Okay.
Somebody said you're arguing with CeeLo. There's really no argument. It's just somebody like totally just derailing the conversation that we were going through and taking it to some ridiculous other place that we've been going over this for the longest. This Turtle Island bullshit,
Yeah.
that we Native American bullshit. And they keep flipping the story because, like he said, he contradicted his own people. Because you have people saying that
They weren't
the
slaves.
Native America was never slaves. The only slaves was Africans.
Right.
Now he's saying that, oh, they were the original slave. Oh, okay.
Damn, we should have asked him what his indigenous language was.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. He would have tap danced around that one. How do you lose your indigenous language in a country where it's the origin of your language? That's like somebody in China forgetting how to speak Mandarin Chinese.
Right.
I can understand you losing your language if you're in a dominant culture. Yeah, you probably lose it in one generation. But if it's your culture, how the fuck you gonna lose your language in your own culture? That makes absolutely no fucking sense. Oh Lord. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was pure comedy.
That was. I didn't know it was gonna go there, but like I said, it's just. I promise you, there's always somebody that just swear they're gonna outsmart the system.
Yeah.
With shit that's already been tried. You know, like there's nothing new under the sun. Like, yeah.
So this government is a rogue government. The United States government is a rogue government. This operating at the same time your legitimate government don't collect taxes, has a shit economy.
Yeah.
Don't control nothing. Don't control their own water supply. Don't control the airspace. Don't have an army. Don't have nothing. But you're the legitimate government, and the government here, they're a rogue government. Okay,
And
makes
here we
sense
go.
to me.
Right. And then what's gonna happen? See, brother, what's gonna happen? See, once we our name instead of lowercase letters, we put it in uppercase letters. We're gonna file the appeal at the courthouse. And see, when that happens, the United States of America is gonna have to give us all the infrastructure and everything to us under our control because it was wrongfully built in the first place, brother.
That's what I was told. That's what I was told. All we have to do is claim our status, and they have to hand the land over to us. The government, the land, the army, all of that stuff got to be handed back to black people because we have claimed our proper status.
Right. And so, brother, we gonna change the name of the Empire State Building, brother, to we don't come up with a name, brother, but we gonna change all the. See, that's ours, brother, because see, they built that on Moorish land, brother. They built it on Moorish land.
And these are the people and you got people in this chat room going, yo, he's speaking the truth. He's dropping a lot of bombs. This is what we dealing with. This is what we dealing with. Any old motherfucker can come in saying anything and people just take them seriously. And then we're going to go before the world and present the case for reparations. Do you want that guy representing you? That's the guy you want representing you for reparations?
Hey, hold up. Were you on the show with the dude that the Hebrew Israelite that said he looked at the Google Maps of the
Yeah, I wasn't on the show, but I listened to it and
we're gonna put him, this guy, and we're gonna send them to the UN.
Yeah, send them to the UN. Let's see what they do. They can say you have no jurisdiction over me while they're being dragged out the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah, Doug, he had me backed into the corner. Yeah, that's your dude, Doug. Fuck me. Go with that dude.
Can Angie X come on? Do you have time for Angie X?
She didn't she tap out? She said she don't want to come on.
She said she wants to come on. She said she wants to come on.
Oh Jesus, man.
Last one. I know you tired. Hold up. All right. You just let me know. But
go ahead. I don't care.
All right. Angie X. I just sent the link.
That dude just sapped a whole lot of fucking energy out of me.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, people are saying he's CIA. No, bro, you don't understand.
CIA.
But this is the thing, you don't understand. Back when I was going through my phase of consciousness, how many people like him I ran into. And then it's one, and then the thing, hold up, they're so smart. And this is the issue I have. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to beat up on my brothers in the conscious community. They have helped me out a lot. They've given me a lot of knowledge. But it's just they have all this knowledge, hold up. But then they'll come back to you and say, hey, brother, can I get some money to pay my cell phone bill? And I'm like, well, if you have all this status and this number, this, that, and other, like, why you need to pay? Why you need money for your cell phone bill? Like, you should be able to, if you can figure out a way to get the U.S. government to hand over their infrastructure to you, why do you need me to help you pay your cell phone bill?
Mm. Well, I mean, that is a good question to ask because we're on this Native American forum called, YouTube.
Yeah, right.
This indigenously controlled forum.
All right, so Angie X, I sent you the link. Anyway.
Gee whiz, I don't
All
even
right,
know.
Angie X, go ahead. You're on.
All right, so hello.
Angie, you need to. There's an echo. You need to turn down the. You need to turn off the replay on your end.
Oh, my bad. Can y'all hear me?
We hear you. Go ahead, Angie. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Okay, so I'm not trying to go back and forth with the whole debate thing. Like, I just got basically a couple of points that I want to touch on, and then y'all can take it from there. But I just wanted to say, like, this whole reparations conversation, it's an onion with many layers. Like, y'all just looking at it from like I'm not gonna say y'all, the first guy that was on, because I don't know what your position about it is, Dinus. But like the first guy that came on was just like, oh, we just want checks and that's it, and like it's just so simple, cut me a check and da da da. How are you going to build a nation if you don't got no money? First of all, how like, can you explain that to me? How are you going to build a nation? Are you dependent on checks from your employer? Like, I don't understand. First of all, how are you going to finance a nation? That's number one. That's my question. Are you there?
Who's she talking to, me?
Oh yeah, you hold up.
Oh, because I was the first guy on. I haven't left. I've been on.
Can you answer that question?
You finance it by, like, all right, this is my point. How are you financing these talking heads that's talking about reparations? Aren't you
They do not.
financing them?
Well, everybody already knows that was a farce. Like that whole HR 40, like that's already, like, we already know that that's bullshit. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Okay. So you're saying
That's
we have
bullshit.
absolutely no money to invest in nationhood? None.
You're not answering my question.
I am answering it. You're saying we have no money to invest in nationhood. Absolutely none. Because you
How
asked
are we
where we're going
gonna
to get the
fund?
money from.
Okay,
Where do
see,
we
this
get
is
the
what I'm
money
not
from
trying
now?
to. This is what I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to go into this back and forth. Like I asked
It's
you
not a
a
back and
straight out
forth.
question, and now
It's
you're
really not a
jumping
back and
around it.
forth.
Like,
It's
so
really
anyway,
not.
my main point is we need economics. We're not going to get anywhere without economics,
I
and
agree.
we can start with the money. Yeah, they need to pay us. They owe us. It's not begging. They owe us this. We built this country. They owe us. We also are owed land. We need systematic changes. We need to become a protected class. We're not even really citizens. Like, we're still considered slaves.
So in the
And you're
meantime,
saying, and you're also asking, well, how do we know who to pay and all of that? If you can't trace yourself back to a plantation, then you're not eligible. Period. That's who needs to be compensated. Anyone who can trace their heritage back to the plantation needs to be paid.
okay. And what if you don't get paid by the United States government? Then what?
Just going to keep fighting. It ain't no what if. Like, do you have any fight in you at all? Like, you just want to surrender and give up to them?
Can I ask you a question? When I say that we need to have a nation of our own, how is that surrendering?
I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't disagree
Okay, so
with you
then
at
stop
all.
accusing me of surrendering and saying I ain't got no fight when my whole fight is us having control of our own land.
Okay, and how do
That
you?
doesn't
So
make any
where's your
sense to
nation?
me.
So how do
So
I? So how do I
how do you
join your
go from
nation?
that, me wanting to have our
How do
own
I join?
nation,
Okay,
to
so
me
where's
not
your
having
nation
no
at?
fight and
How do
giving
I
up?
join your nation?
No,
How can
you
I
know what I'm
unify with
giving
your
up? I'm
nation?
giving up on people who's jumping into this reparations conversation and don't have a fucking clue about what they're talking about.
Okay, so how? Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. How can I
I'm
join
not
on the
talking about
stage?
you. I'm not speaking about you personally. I'm talking about the people that I see holding microphones up in congressmen and congress people's face, talk about cut the check, cut the check, and then
Okay,
turning
I'm
around
glad
and
you
telling
brought
me,
that up.
well, it's not about a check. That's all I'm hearing. That's a catchphrase. That's a hashtag. Cut the check. Am I lying?
Well, you know why? You know why people are doing that? I think the main reason people are doing that is because, the US has this whole benign and neglect policy that they do with us. And they want to ignore black people. Like, this is really the first time that like a grassroots issue has really made it mainstream. Now, of course, they're trying to, control the narrative and change it and make it go in different directions and stuff. They're trying to muddy the waters. But I think people are really running up on politicians right now because we're tired of being ignored, and we want to put them, on camera and be like, hey, you're gonna pay attention to us, you're gonna answer these questions. And that makes it so that they can't kind of dance around the subject or whatever. And when you see them respond with such disgust and ignore us and walk away from us and all of that, that lets you know right there, this politician or whoever is not somebody that we need to get behind. And that starts the conversation. And I believe, that's a good thing. If you're running up on a politician and you're like, hey, are you for reparations for ADOS or for black people, or however you want to phrase it?
Angie, how do you feel those reparations should be doled out? Should it go to individuals, or should it be a part of our nation state, like it did with Israel?
I think we need money, we need land, we need systematic changes, we need a whole bunch of stuff. The money issue, the money part of it is just the talking point, just to get it so that people can't keep on ignoring us. And I
No,
think
I
that's the
understand
part that a
that.
lot of
I
people
understand that. What I'm just
are
asking you,
misconceiving.
I'm just asking you personally. We just approach it as individuals getting checks.
It wouldn't be just individuals getting checks though. Black people, period. We need land. We need the system to be changed. Like, a whole bunch of shit needs to be changed. It's not just about the money.
The
Yes,
system.
people.
What do you mean changed?
The system is not going to be changed. The system is doing what the system is supposed to do. So
It's not going to be changed as long as we keep having that defeated mindset that it's not going to be changed, and we just give up and not fight for it to be changed.
So you're for us
People
establish.
on the
You're trying
plantation
to
never thought that
change the
slavery
United
was going to
States.
end.
You're trying to change America.
The system needs to change. We're in America. We're here, aren't we?
So you're
And
not
I'm
for
not even saying that
establishing.
we
You're
shouldn't
not
go
for
back.
establishing a nation state outside of America. You want to have a nation within a nation in America.
No, I'm not just saying that. I'm for both. Actually, I want dual citizenship, to be honest with you. I'm not against going back to Africa at all. But I know that everybody, that's not going to be a reality for everybody. Everybody is not just like people, and y'all said this earlier, like people in Israel, or Jewish people rather. Not everybody is in Israel, but they support Israel. They don't talk down on going back to Israel if somebody wants to do that. They don't talk down about the people that are in Israel or are interested in going back. And I don't think we should do that either. And just like the Jewish people got their reparations, they could do something similar with us too. It's not even like we have to reinvent the wheel here.
Well, that's my point that I've been saying. The Jewish people got their reparations because they had a nation state.
And I said, I'm not disagreeing with that. We should have a nation. But my thing is, there are so many little nations, or the people calling themselves nations. Y'all got y'all little organization, and there are a whole bunch of them. Why can't we all just come together as one? That's why I was saying earlier. Why can't people link up with the Nation of Islam? It's already a nation.
Did you just hear that guy that got off the phone?
Yeah, I'm not talking
That's
about
why.
linking up with niggas like that. I'm not
But
talking about that.
that's what the
That's
problem
actually
is.
why I called up, because I was just I couldn't take it
But
anymore.
that's what the
I
problem
had
is.
to bring the
These guys want
conversation
to be
back.
at the table.
Yeah, but everybody can't be at the table though, and we understand that. Everybody, we know that. That's not even. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But if we have these nations already that are already formed, we already got organizations, people who are actually really and truly organized, and they talk in some sense. Why can't all of those organizations come together and form a nation?
Exactly. Then we have absolutely no problem with each other. Because I'm saying the same thing. We have absolutely no issue. I agree with
But you were
everything you
shutting
said,
everything down though.
1000%, what you just said just now.
But you were shutting everything down earlier, and you're talking
I
like
wasn't
down on
shutting everything
ADOS
down.
stuff.
See, that's the problem. I wasn't shutting everything down. What I was doing was pointing out the bullshit. That's what I was doing. Are you
You were
going to say
making
that
a
the bullshit
mockery.
doesn't exist?
You were making a mockery out of ADOS and the whole movement, and you're only like referring to certain people. But when I told you to maybe give Professor Black Truth a listen, give TBA or the Black Authority a listen before you know have all these opinions and stuff, you ignored those comments, or maybe you didn't see those comments. I'm not
I
gonna say
didn't
you
see it
ignored them,
because
but maybe
ADOS to me is
you only
Tone Talks
responded to.
and Yvette Carnell.
I don't know nothing about Yvette Carnell.
They're the
I'm
ones that
just
came.
clarifying if
They're the
you said
ones that
something about
control the
her.
ADOS website, ADOS 101.
Why does everybody? Okay, ADOS is not an organization. That's like it just means American Descendants of Slaves. That's not like an organization. I don't know if she made a website for it or what, but it's not an
Wasn't she the one that
organization.
came up with the title?
It's not affiliated with, right, but we are all, if you're a Black American, you're an ADOS. I'm not affiliated with any organization other than Nation of Islam. I'm not
So
affiliated with
then,
no.
so then, why does it trigger you that I'm talking about that organization if you're not a part of it?
You're confusing. You're confusing what ADOS is because you're trying
No,
to
I'm
link it
not
to one
confused at
person.
all. I'm talking about specifically that organization.
It's not an organization, is what I'm trying to tell you.
So then, why do you feel that like if I'm speaking about Yvette Cornell and that branch or whatever
I don't
that
know
I'm talking
anything
about,
about
why does
Yvette.
that bother you
If
so
I can
much?
interject, sister, Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks are the face of ADOS. That's just what it is.
And that's who I'm talking about. And I'm talking about the people that are lined up with them and the people that I see making these moves.
Well,
That's
I'm
the group that I'm
ADOS,
talking
and
about. If you're not
I'm not aligned
associated
with
with
her at
them,
all.
if you're not associated with them, why do you feel upset because I'm speaking about them?
But you didn't make that distinction though. You
I
said
did make that
ADOS.
distinction. I've
You
always
didn't
made that distinction. You can
specifically
check every
say.
show that I've been on with Dinaz where I talk about ADOS, and I'm speaking specifically about those groups.
So why don't you specifically say Yvette Carnell or Tone Talks or whoever you're specifically talking about? Why
Because
you?
they're the one, like he said, they're the face of it.
I mean,
They're
for the
the
most
face of
part,
it. I never heard about it before them.
right. Well, basically, if you people who are involved with ADOS or know about it, 95% of them, 95% of them, if you bring up ADOS, is Yvette Carnell Tone Talks. Like they're the faces of it.
I didn't even hear. Honestly, I heard about ADOS through Tariq Nasheed. I didn't even hear about it through
Tariq
you
Nasheed got
guys.
it from Tariq Nasheed.
Exactly.
Okay, Tariq Nasheed
I
got it from
understand that, but
Yvette
it's
Carnell and Tone Talks.
okay, but it's a term that refers to specific people, to a group, to us.
Right.
If
No,
you're Black
and
American,
you're absolutely right. But again, it's not an organized. It's like, for example, I believe that Black Lives Matter. But if I come out and say Black Lives Matter, people are gonna automatically think the chicks that started Black Lives Matter. But
the
again,
two white lesbians.
Right.
exactly. That's the
Right.
point I'm trying to make. Same thing with ADOS. If you say ADOS, yes, I support ADOS. But when you say ADOS, it's automatically gonna defer to Tone Talks and
So
Yvette Carnell.
okay, so how can we? Okay, so without naming them specifically by their names, how can we avoid this confusion in the future? Because I believe that that's going to cause a lot of confusion because we're now calling ourselves ADOS because before we didn't have anything to identify ourselves as. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what were we calling ourselves before? Not because we're not African American. That's even confusing because you got people from the continent that can come here and label themselves as African American, but that starts to muddy the waters when we get into this reparation talk. You see what I'm saying?
I call it descendants of enslaved Africans.
So you just changing the letters around, basically.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't define myself with American. Fuck America. I don't give a shit about identifying with America anything.
But we're in America though, and we do
So,
have to
I mean, like
specify
I
that.
said, I go by what Malcolm X said. Just because you have a cat has kittens in the oven, that don't make the kittens biscuits. I don't care that I'm here.
Right, but
I
in
identify
terms
with
of getting
African.
in terms of fighting for reparations though, you kind of have to acknowledge that you can't just throw that. I mean, that's what we are.
I
To get
acknowledge that we're
we
descendants
have
of
to be
enslaved
specific though.
Africans. I don't
We
think,
have
is
to
that
be
an incorrect
specific.
terminology?
Yeah.
Is that terminology incorrect? That we're descendants of enslaved Africans?
Yeah, but yeah, they get confused and they act like they're confused because they're just trying to change up the words and everything. But yeah, I can agree with that. We can call ourselves that. But see, you know, I
Because
don't
when
know.
you
Like,
say American descendants of slaves, to me, like the reason why they put that American descendants of slaves, and I'm speaking specifically about Yvette Carnell, is to make a distinction between Africa. They want to separate themselves from Africans, which is why I always ask, if you're an American descendant of slaves, where'd the slaves come from? How come that's not in the description?
I don't think. See, I don't like when people say that either because for me personally, I can't speak for everybody else because I know everybody is on some. Some people are on some fuck shit, but for me, I would never disassociate myself with Africa at all. That's not my motive
Well,
at
Yeah,
there's
I'm
all.
the
a
same way.
huge,
I'm the same way.
I'm that way too, and there's a
I'm that
huge
way too.
contingency of people who identify as ADOS who are
That's
anti-African.
African. True.
But
I
I
I'm
do
I'm
understand.
African first. Period. I'm African first.
But
Period.
I do understand that a lot of people are not on the whole Pan African movement right now, where they kind of put it on pause because we're not seeing a lot of Africans from the continent actually fighting in our interests. They actually come over here and they be talking down on us. Not saying all, because I don't want nobody to jump on my. Not saying all, but some do come over here and they disrespect us. They call us lazy Akatas, da 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 da, all that stuff. Like we talked about that
I never
before.
really dealt with them, so I really don't know. I mean, I'm quite sure that that exists, but my relationship with continental Africans has always been positive. I
But
haven't
in
had any
large
real negative
in large
experience with them.
numbers African and Caribbean immigrants, they're not really like we're the only ones that's thumping that Pan-African drum. That's what it kind of been feeling like for a while now, and I think that's why a lot of people have kind of put the Pan-African movement on pause. But me personally, I will never disassociate myself from Africa ever, but I can understand why some people are focused more so on ADOS right now than Pan Africanism.
My thing is, you could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. That's just how I feel about it.
That's what I
Well,
said earlier.
I generally would agree with that, but my problem is there's not honest players involved in the conversation. And if you're going to have a conversation and be productive, then you got to have honest players involved. There's a lot of dishonest, disingenuous players involved in the conversation. And I feel like Yvette Carnell is one of them.
So okay. So since we're kind of getting somewhere now. So how do we all come to the table together? How do we get all these little organizations and make them into one organization? Are we still all going to be disagreeing and wanting to go in this direction, that direction? We all got the same interests at heart. We all, want to be liberated. We want our, well, we should want our reparations. See, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we all get to the table and just come together and just unify without having a big argument and start fighting with each other?
I think just for me, I can only speak for myself. I'm not against reparations. And I've made this point plenty of times. I'm not against reparations. I'm not against the concept of us receiving reparations from the United States government. I've never been against that. What I'm saying is when you approach the subject not as an organized people, then it becomes the cash grab. And all everybody's concerned about is getting a check to their personal account. What I'm saying is, if you're going to approach it, we need to approach it as an organized people, which is exactly the same thing that you're suggesting.
Right.
That's my only argument.
So how do we do
I'm
that?
not
How do we come together?
I'm not anti reparations. I'm anti niggas getting checks
But
at the expense,
we
at the
already have
expense,
organized people. So
at
how
the
do we
ex-
get those organized organizations to come together and all be on the same page?
I don't
I'm
think a
not
lot
saying
of
we
these
all have to have the
organizations are
same.
on the same page.
I'm not saying we have
I
to
don't think a lot of these organizations actually want to have their own nation. So the first thing you got to do is which organizations want to have a nation or where they have in their platform that we should have a nation of our own. If you can get those organizations, it's I don't see why they wouldn't come together. It would make perfect sense. But the problem is a lot of them are not really pushing for that.
My thing is I don't understand why a lot of people aren't trying to unify with the Nation of Islam. You know, especially after Nipsey Hussle died.
But see, can I interject? It's really you can unify with the Nation of Islam, but just from my understanding and my experience, in order to experience the full benefits of the Nation of Islam, you have to be a part of the organization.
You don't have to. You don't have to join to unify
Uh,
with them. So what do
uh,
you
You
mean by the full
do.
benefits? What
uh,
do you mean by that?
uh, I don't know, but go
If
ahead. Go.
if the Nation of Islam gives reparations, they're going to get it sent to the Nation
The
of
Nation of
Islam.
Islam is not trying to get reparations on behalf of the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam has been fighting for reparations for Black people. It's not the Nation of Islam, and they're just going to lock you out and say that you're not included. That's not how that works. I think that you should go to your local Muhammad mosque and
No,
actually speak
I'm
about it.
very familiar with this.
I mean, I've had Brother Ben X on the show
I'm
before.
very familiar with this. When you go to the UN, you're going to the UN as a nation.
So wait a minute.
They're not going to the UN as Black people. They're going as a nation.
So wait a minute, Dinus. You said you had Brother Ben X. Did
Yeah,
you ask him that?
I've asked him. I've had a couple brothers from the Nation of Islam on here, and I love. Listen, I love the Nation of Islam. I love Brother
Me
Farrakhan.
too.
Absolutely love them. But for the most part, in order, it's like me again. I'm a Kappa. We have programs where we'll go out and we'll feed the homeless. We have Kappa League where we'll help the kids out, and we'll do this here. We'll adopt a freeway, to clean it up. Where we'll do our our philanthropy or whatnot. But in order to enjoy the full benefits of Kappa Alpha Psi, you got to be a Kappa.
What do you mean by the full benefits?
Basically, from the outside in, looking in, like for example, Holip's my brother. But if there's a Kappa meeting, Holip can't come in it. Now we might open up the doors later on to allow, outsiders to come in. But for the most part, like when it comes to the decision making, if you're not a Kappa, you're not going to be allowed through that door. So what I'm saying is with the Nation of Islam, just like any other organization, there's information that's private information that's specific to that organization.
So then the answer to the question is you have to get an organization where it doesn't have any where it's more has a big tent approach to our people as a whole. It can't be narrow. It can't be like if you talk about Nation of Islam, then what about people that's Christians? They have an issue with that. Like, am I going to join the Nation of Islam if I'm a Christian? But see, in
Well,
America, it doesn't matter what your religion is. You're still under the United States government. Government collects taxes from all of y'all, no matter what you calling yourself, or no matter what your lifestyle is. You can be vegan or you can be a meat eater. You're still paying taxes to the United States government.
Exactly. So what will have to happen, instead of it being the Nation of Islam, it will have to be a bigger umbrella that will, I guess, include the Nation of Islam, so everybody's included.
Everybody.
but see, we haven't even gotten to the point where we could even get at the table with each other and discuss creating a larger umbrella that we can all feel comfortable, I guess, being under.
BAIO.
Yeah, but y'all talk the BAIO. Like I was listening to another broadcast with this Kala character, and he was talking all types of. I can't like.
So
How are
wait a
we ever
minute. Let me
supposed
ask
to
you a question. Let me
unify
ask you a question,
with people
sister.
like that?
Logically, are there stupid people here in America that you
Very much
don't
so.
like? So
Very
did you
much so.
revoke your U.S. citizenship because there's one person that you don't like in the United
I'm
States?
saying, but from my understanding, because this is the first time I've ever actually heard of the BIAO. From my understanding, he was a representative or somebody that created it, maybe. So if that's
My
the head
point
of
remains
it,
the same. Like, you don't even have to like me. My thing is, are we going to have a nation? Are we going to have a nation of people when
we don't. I'm
we're
not
going to draw
disagreeing with that.
lines in the sand? Because if, like, I have to get along with everybody in order for
But what
me
are
to
your
work. Well,
principles,
why don't
though?
we use that same principle with the nation that we're existing in right now?
But
I
what are
don't
your
see anybody
principles, though?
revoking their U.S. citizenship despite all the bullshit that the United States of
What are
America is
your
doing.
okay? But what are your principles, though?
Principle is land, infrastructure, nationhood. That we need a nation
I
of our
didn't.
own.
Well, okay. Well,
That's the
maybe I'm
principle.
mistaken. Maybe I jumped the gun. But from my understanding, when I was listening to that brother talking, his principles were not the same as my principles.
What
I
was
don't
his
know what type of
principles? Because I don't
principles he
know.
had.
I don't know what you were listening to because I didn't hear that show.
He was basically talking down on reparations, saying that he didn't want reparations and just shooting everything down. He's just very nasty. Um,
I mean, but
but I don't know.
that's just
I'll
one
look
person's.
into that
Like, listen,
again.
I'm a member of the BIO. I support reparations, but again, just because Kala doesn't, I mean, at the end of the day, the end game is land, infrastructure, nationhood. This person might not agree with reparations. I agree with it, but at the end of the day, it's like, do you want a nation of your own?
Right.
Well, I
And
had to look into the BAIO, whatever. I'll look into that more. I
Yeah.
just
Just read the about us. The about us section pretty much describes what the entire um principles of the organization is all about.
right.
And there's going to be people, that, and we have. It's the one organization that I know of where you can have varying points of views and various ideologies, but we still umbrella each other. We still umbrella it under the land, infrastructure, and nationhood context.
So
In other
how can
words,
we
if you
do that
coming
in a
in,
bigger, in, in a bigger perspective? How can we all get together instead of having all these little tiny groups like that's? I keep trying to get to that point
that's
because
the point though that I'm making. It's like we have many different ideologies within the BAIO, but we all rally under that principle of land, infrastructure, nationhood. That's the way you do it. If you believe that black folks need to have a nation of our own, then join the BAIO because there's other people who believe the same thing. And if enough of us get together, it'll create a groundswell.
okay, I can agree with that, but I think we also should have a level of respect for one another. Like me and you, like before I called up, we thought that we were on the two totally different sides. But when I called up, you didn't attack me, you were respectful, and now we're having a conversation. So
Right.
when it comes to people that are representing the organization, I think we should all keep in mind that even though we might not have the same point of view or whatever, we should all be able to be respectful. And I'm just saying that brother was a very poor representation of the BIAL because I was totally turned off after listening to him speak.
Well, I can speak. I can't speak for Carla, but I'll speak for me. Is that, and Dynas knows this. People attack me in the chat room and then get mad at me because I attack back. I'm not a Christian, and if you come at me, I'm gonna come at you. So don't come at me and then call a timeout when I start coming at you. That's not how I operate. So I apologize if I came at you, but I'm a lot of times I'm defensive when it comes to this chat room because people would just say a whole lot of stupid shit and come at me, and I'm not a turn the other cheek dude. That's just me personally. So I can have like we having a respectful conversation, and I've had people on here that I totally disagree with, that I've had rational, reasonable conversations with. I believe that you can speak to people who have different, varying points of views. But when you start coming out, oh, this nigga full of shit, then I'm gonna dig into your bitch ass. I'm gonna do it every fucking time. That's just me.
No, I agree, and I got the same energy, but
Yeah,
that's
I
besides the
respect that
point.
though. I
I wanna
respect that.
I wanna. Why do people in the chat room? And I know might be trolls, but why everybody keeps saying, "Oh, she just want to check. She just want to check." How are we supposed to do anything if we don't have money to fund the shit? How? How? Can anybody explain that to me?
here's the
How
thing.
can we afford $10 a month?
Sure, of course.
Okay, that's how. If we were to create an African American or an ADOS or whatever people want to call it fund, and the only thing we would do is dedicate $10 a month to that fund, we would have enough. We would build up enough capital to do whatever the fuck we wanted to do. And I'm just
But you
using a
don't think
low
that
end
we're
number. I'm
but you
using
don't
a
think
low
that
end
we're
number of ten
still
dollars.
owed? You don't think that we're still
Yes,
owed
yes,
reparations?
yes, I do. But in the meantime, there's a lot of things that we can do on our own that we are just refusing to do. How come nobody has established an African American fund here in America? Why don't we have a institution where we can pool our resources together to build up capital? That doesn't even fucking exist.
So
And nobody feels the need to create that except us. We're trying to do it, but we're doing it with limited resources. Like you said, limited resources. A lot of us are working class people and we do this on the side. We don't dedicate our full time to this because we got to work and provide food, clothing, and shelter for our families. And the reason, and this is the reason why I'm so fucking angry, is because the people that call themselves our representatives don't have to do what we're doing. They don't have a 9 to 5 and kids and all that stuff. Their job is to look out for our interests. And here it is, me, some dipshit from Brooklyn, is trying to map out the blueprint for the black nation. If that's not fucking sad, I don't know what is. How come the people that's supposed to be our representatives ain't doing shit for us? I don't. You think I want to do this shit? I would much rather be outside or at a beach somewhere than sitting on a fucking computer talking about black folks. What sane person wants to do this shit? But we're forced to do it. All of us are forced to get involved in this discussion because we have incompetent leaders. There's nobody representing us. This fucking bus has no driver.
I think that's a good idea, what you're saying. So, I mean, why haven't y'all created? I guess if y'all already have a small following or whatever, why haven't
we're doing the best we can with the numbers that we have. But when we introduce the concept, my question is, if people can sign up to YouTube, why can't you sign up to the BAIO? It's not no paid membership. We're not asking for blood and urine. We're not asking for blood and urine samples.
Man, people don't know about it. Like, I literally just found out about it last week.
All right, well, sign up. Sure. Now you know about it. That's my point. It's like we have to get together with people of like mind, and we have the ability. If there's 50 million black people in America, you mean to tell me if we can purchase packs of cigarettes each month? How much do people spend on cigarettes? How much do people spend on bullshit? We're saying you can't take $10, $10 a month.
Totally
we have more than enough to we can start building shit on our own. It doesn't mean that I'm against like I said, what they owe us, they can't possibly pay us, but they owe us.
Mm-hmm.
But I would much rather have that money going toward my government in an organized structure so that we can get some land and start building up and having total and complete socioeconomic and political control over our environment. Fuck America.
I think that the small organizations like the BIAO needs to link up with the larger organizations and put this on the table and say, hey, like we already got this concept, $10
way ahead of you, sis.
Well, but thing is, who is the larger organization? That's
right, exactly. That's what I want to know. Because if there's an organization that's pushing for nationhood, I would love to know who they are. If somebody can list them in the chat room, I will link up with them today. Because as far as I see, nobody's pushing for nationhood. All people is trying to do is gain some special minority status here in America. Nobody's pushing to actually have control, social, economic, and political control over their environment. If they are, I will link with you right now today. Put them in the chat room.
Okay, so I guess you're just disqualifying a nation of Islam. I guess that's not a nation. I'm not
Nation
saying
Islam,
you have to agree with
Nation of Islam have any territory?
I'm not saying that you have to. None of us have any territory yet.
But the Nation of Islam has been around for a long time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that they have overturned in that time. A whole bunch of lies.
And I'm not against working with the Nation of Islam if the Nation of Islam is for nationhood for all black people. No, I'm not against that at all.
They are. You don't have to. That's why I keep trying to tell you. You don't have to join.
Actually, Minister DeWood is from the nation. One of our top people.
No, he's no longer part of the.
Oh, he's not a part of them now. I know he came up under the Nation of Islam.
He did. He doesn't. That's enough.
Yeah, so many intelligent people have been raised from the Nation of Islam. Like,
well, hold on, Sister, can I ask you a question real quick? The Muhammad Economic Stimulus Plan, is that am I correct? Is that what it's called?
I'm not familiar with that, so I couldn't answer.
Okay, all right, never mind then. All right, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think the Nation of Islam needs to join the BAIO.
Maybe they would if you put it out there.
We put it out there. I put it out there on Dinah's show. I put it out there on my own channel. We've been ringing the bell for a long time.
Have you ever been to a mosque and sat down with somebody and like seriously asked them like, hey, we're trying to form something and we're trying to unify and we got,
I haven't, but Minister DeWood has. And
Like
he's
on some non-religious stuff, just on some,
yeah,
hey, like
on
we're
some
trying to just
nationhood stuff.
unify.
On
Right,
some
like
nationhood stuff. And you know what his response is? What his blowback he usually gets?
what's that?
That's not what the messenger said.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to speak on behalf of the nation. I'm just putting out ideas out here, you know. I don't I don't know what you guys have already done. I didn't see the previous interview with brother Ben X. I haven't seen that yet, so I'm just putting ideas out there. I'm just trying to put stuff on the table so that we can start
I will
doing
say
things if
this
we're not
though,
already doing
sis.
them.
Like I said, I don't like speaking for other people. I speak for myself. Anybody that's for black folks in America having a land of their own, socioeconomic and political control over their reality, who's not trying to be some special class of citizen in America. Because I'm telling you, I'm done. Like if, in terms of where my energy is at, we need to be thinking about having our own, and that's where my head is at. So if anybody's down for that, I think that they should personally be a part of the BAIO or sign up because we don't. The whole thing is our whole principles are land, infrastructure, nationhood, total social, economic, and political control of our environment. That's what we're about. So if anybody's about that, we'll link up with them or they'll link up with us and we can keep building and moving from there. But the problem is there ain't a lot of people for having a nation of our own. If you can name anybody mainstream that people can point to on TV and radio, mainstream, that's saying that we should have our own nation, I would love to hear who they are. It's very rare when you have somebody saying that we need to have our own. Most people is talking this militant integration, this shit, where they about fighting for, equality inside of America. That's why I get so much pushback when I talk about nationhood.
I think a lot of people want it, but maybe they don't know how to articulate it, and maybe they don't know where to actually go and unite with other people who have their same mindset. I think that's a huge part of the problem. And so, because of that, people are just getting fed up and they're coming up with this militant stance. And, it's real individualistic right now.
Hmm.
I think that's what's actually going on here. So, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna get all the small groups together to form one group. I don't know.
Those groups have to want nationhood, and unfortunately, like I tried years ago to try to get all of the Hebrew Israelites and the Nation of Islam, 5% Nation, and all of these different groups who say the white man is the devil. The logical conclusion that I had as a youth was, well, if the white man is the devil, why don't y'all get together to fight against the devil? And then I found out that these people ain't really about us, sis. They're not really about black folks coming together and doing shit.
How can
What
we
they're
get
about,
together to
what they're
fight the white
about,
devil?
what they're about is carving up our community like drug dealers.
How can we
You
get
do.
together to fight the white devil? How can we do that? Because I'm down for that. How can we do that?
You talking about those groups or us?
Us. Shit,
Oh, well, I
start
know
with
how
us.
we can do it. We're doing it with the BAIO. We're first coming together and establishing an ideology and a principle of nationhood. That's the first step. You got to want a nation in order to have one. It's like, how does a football team win the Super Bowl? Well, first you got to want to win the Super Bowl. Or else why are you in the league? Why are you playing the game?
Okay, so we join BAIO. We do the $10 a month. Then
No,
what?
no, no, no. We ain't
What are the
taking no money.
steps?
We ain't taking no money.
How you
Not
gonna?
initially. Eventually we will, but not now. We're more concerned about your time than your money. Your time is more valuable to us than some $10. We need to know who
Okay.
you are. If you're a person that's for nationhood and you want to be involved, the first thing you do is you join the BAIO, and then we have chapters across America. You find out what chapter, what state you're in, and try to connect with those people in that state and just keep building from there. That's our
So
first step.
what are we actually building towards though? How do we establish nationhood?
You got to be involved in it. That's how. You can't establish nationhood if you're sitting from the outside waiting for somebody to establish nationhood. You have to be involved in it. It's like, how do you be an American?
So
you got to be an American. You got to be here and be involved. Pay your taxes. Do all this other stuff.
I feel you. Are you
You get
saying that
involved, and
you're
you know what I'm
not?
saying. You can't have sit on the outside and then sit back expecting somebody to do something. You got to be involved in the process.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. So I'm saying I guess I'm asking you to explain the process, but are you saying that we need to be in person for you to discuss that?
The process of what process are you talking about?
How are we going to form a nation? How are we going to actually do this? Are you saying
That's
that
a
I have to meet
conversation
with
that's
you in person?
above my pay grade. I can't form a nation by myself. I can't even tell you. I can tell you what I think the process should be, but I'd be speaking as an individual. We get together and we speak to each other as and we have meetings and we have meetups and we have discussions, and everybody gets involved in those discussions.
Okay, but when it's time to execute, you
It's
can't just
not
have a
time to
bunch of.
execute yet. It's not time to execute. Execute what when you don't even have the resources to execute? I'm not putting the cart before the horse.
I feel like a lot of people before us have already, made every debate possible. Like at this point, I feel like we just need the people, and there should already be um, steps for us to be able to take once we get the people.
Oh boy, you
What
are
about
speaking so
Doctor?
much truth right now.
What about Dr. Claude Anderson? Is anybody paying attention to Dr. Claude Anderson? All his work?
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
I
I
have.
respect Dr. Claude Anderson. Absolutely.
Me too.
I mean, people have been talking for. I don't want to just sit around and talk. Like I'm not trying to be
It's
rude or
not
nothing, but
about
I
sitting
don't want
around.
to.
It's not around sitting around and talking. We haven't even began the process of nationhood. And before you can build with people, you got to know the people that you building with, or else you're not going to because you don't trust them.
Nah, I
You got
feel
to
that.
form bonds. You have to form family. You have to form connections. You ain't just gonna come into a place and start building with a bunch of motherfuckers that you do not know. If anything, history has shown that.
But we don't have to be friends to
No, it's not about being
unify, though.
friends. It ain't about being friends. It's about a common goal. There should be a common goal, right?
Of course, but I'm
Okay.
saying I feel like there's been enough conversation about it already. Like I
No, there
feel like
hasn't
there's been
actually.
enough
There really
research.
hasn't. There really hasn't. Nobody has.
Um,
There hasn't been any serious discussions about forming a nation because people haven't gone through the process of what it takes. The only way you can form a nation, first of all, you have to pull from a pool of talent. Do you know how many fucking architects we have in America right now that's black? How many scientists do we have? How many mathematicians do we have? How many people in these specialized fields do we know about? Are we just going to guess we have them? Because when we want to build a bridge, we got to get people to know how to do that shit. And how do you appeal to those people? How do you get those people to come into your organization?
that's my question.
And we've been doing it.
And why people keep saying, I mean, who's emotional?
No,
I'm
don't pay
having a
attention. Sis,
conversation.
don't pay no attention to the chat room. It's toxic. It's cancer. Don't look at it. Because all
Yeah,
it's going to do is draw
let
you
me
away from what we're talking about.
let me chill in the chat room because
Yeah,
niggas
I
is
done,
dumb.
I minimize that shit. Because if I look at the chat room, we'll go way off the rails.
You right. I'm not even. But
But
yeah,
I'm
that's the
glad
same
I'm
question I'm
actually
asking.
glad that I talked to you. I really, because after that last conversation, god damn, man.
Yeah, that was making my brain bleed. I'm like, oh God, I don't. He sounded like he was fresh out of jail. God.
Well, it's funny you said that. And I keep telling people this: the majority of this information comes from the prison system. Just like sagging pants. Like I don't know what they teach them in the prison system, but the majority of this pseudo stuff comes from the prison system.
And then he talk about he don't pay taxes. All right, so the IRS about to lock your ass up. You're gonna be
Yeah.
right in there with your fucking leader,
And he
looking
swore he was
stupid.
dropping the mic on me. He swore he was dropping the mic on me. He was putting me under pressure.
And why do they all have that same jailhouse cadence? Like, what is that? They all talk exactly the same. They have the same voice inflections. Like that's the shit
First of
that
all, we must internalize the flatulation of the
right,
matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity,
right. Like, oh my god, that shit is so
which
annoying.
further segregates the crux of my venereal infection. God damn, man.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm glad I spoke to you, sis. I apologize for the heat I was coming with earlier. I'm just defensive because I get attacked so much that I have to be on the defensive because it seems like you can't just have a decent conversation and try to talk about subject matter without somebody turning it into personal ad hominem attacks. And I'm so tired of this. Have you been to the continent? Shit. Like if I catch a plane today and go to the continent, how does that strengthen my argument or lessen my? It means nothing. All it means is that me personally have made a decision that I'm gonna do it. What the fuck does that? Like all these people, I respect you, dying ass. Well, did your ass got a passport? You going to Nigeria? Since you respect him so much, has that changed the way that you're moving and maneuvering in this country? No. So stop pretending like it makes a difference if somebody's on the continent or if they're in America. It makes absolutely no difference. What are we going to do collectively as a people? And that's when
Right.
nobody wants to deal with that, because that's when you get down to actually doing something. And people would
Right.
much rather talk and bullshit. Like I want real talk. If I'm going to talk, let's have some real. We have some real discussions in the BIO. We be talking about STEM, talk about the latest technology and building infrastructure. We're actually having productive talks. I've been working like for hours on our website with this sister who's like in IT, Kexia, dynamic sister.
Mm.
So we're not just talking, just shooting shit. We're trying to get shit done.
Also had another question. Because for Dynas, like the other day you were talking to that police brutality guy,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all were basically saying like we should have, like we should be able to have like an escape exit plan or whatever. And
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think that we should go back to Africa, or at least look into it, or maybe have dual citizenship. But white supremacy is global, so like,
No. See, I'm not. We don't deal with the white man is Thanos uh, mentality. No, it's not. And the reason why I say that, the white supremacy. Okay, you're not gonna find the NYPD in Nairobi, Kenya. It's not gonna happen. That's why I'm not buying it. I just no, it's not.
but even if they don't control it directly, they still control it indirectly, though.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They
There's
don't.
no
They still
white
have
supremacy. Ask
sanctions and
Aliko
stuff.
Dangote about white supremacy in Nigeria. I wonder what his take is on the supremacy of the white man. It's
And,
like,
and this thing, I'm not saying Africa doesn't have its issues, but this whole white supremacy is global. I don't have to worry about LAPD, NYPD, the KKK, and all these other organizations when I'm in my
yeah,
village or
I'm
war.
not saying I understand that we are in the belly of the beast, but they still have their
You,
issues.
you just answered
exactly,
you just answered your question.
exactly.
You just
But
answered.
even though it might be better over there, but there's still
You
issues.
just
So how
answered
do
your
we?
question. You just answered your question again. Now we're getting into, as the Holip says, the stalling tactic.
No, it's not a stolen tactic at all. Because, like I said, I would
It's
love to
no.
go to
I'm just
Africa.
saying it's nowhere on the level as it is here in America. It's not.
I would absolutely love to go. I'm not, stalling or trying to disagree with going or having that
Mhm.
escape route planned out or anything. But all right,
Yeah, the
I
white man's supremacy is way overrated. I'll just say that. We have issues that we're going to have to deal with, because you're going to have issues in any country you're dealing with. I'm quite sure as great as the economy and the happiness index is for Norway and Sweden and Finland and all them places, they probably got their issues too that they dealing with. Every place you go to
so
is going to have issues.
So, because I hate when I haven't been to the continent, so I'm not trying to shit on them at all. Like, Dynas, if you're saying that it's way better, I'm gonna take your word for it because I know you've been there on more than several occasions, so I'll go with that. But I hate when I see, like in Nigeria and Ghana and stuff, like the white people come over and they're putting them in dashikis and treating them like royalty and stuff.
Listen, there's coonery. I'm not denying
Why?
that. But, okay, I'm not saying there's no coonery over there, but the point I'm trying to make, this white supremacy is global. People will try to leverage that as if the minute I get off the plane in Accra, Ghana, I'm gonna get searched, stopped, and frisked by the NYPD. It's like, no, like stop
No.
it.
We got issues that we got to deal with, but like, and I believe the reason why we think the white man is everywhere is because of battered person syndrome. If you look at the symptoms of battered person syndrome, that's one of the symptoms, that you think that your oppressor is omniscient. You think that they're omnipresent everywhere. No matter what you do, they're gonna get you. That's comes from being abused.
Mhm.
That's not reality. To be honest with you, we can form a nation. Like everybody, I've heard this. Well, we can't get land because you're gonna have to kill people to get land. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life.
That's a white supremacist way of getting land. That ain't.
That is so dumb. And you got black people saying this.
Mm.
People got to die in order for you to get land. Get the hell out of here. So I guess there's no such thing as land negotiators. That doesn't exist.
And what's crazy, hold up, again, I keep telling people this story. In the Sudan, there was this white guy who found like land in Sudan. The government of Sudan gave it to him, and he gave it to his daughter. It was just vacant land.
Right.
And he gave it his own flag, named it.
Yep, I
I
remember that.
recognize Africa, but he set up his own nation by just going online and finding a piece of land in Sudan, reaching out to the government gave it to him, and he gave it to his daughter, and he named it.
Yep. Then Dada says land acquisition team.
So how do we connect back to? I guess we have to pick a country in Africa, but how do we have to like say Liberia, for instance? How do we connect back to them? Because we have to still have a motherland to go to, like a home country or something. How do we form that bridge? Because nobody is giving us citizenship.
Well, actually, they are. I know you like. I don't know what the process is in Nigeria, but I know if
Without
you
the
in
red tape.
Rwanda,
Are
no,
they
with
doing
no
it
red
without the
tape. In
red tape?
Rwanda, you stay 6 months, you're a citizen.
Are they doing it without the red tape though? Like, do we
Yep.
have to jump through a bunch of
Yep.
hoops and stuff?
Nope.
I'm gonna tell you what the issue is. Black Americans, for some reason, flock to Ghana, and then when it doesn't work out in Ghana, they think that's a representation of all of Africa.
Right.
So we get upset when the white media paints this picture as if Africa is one country and monolithic. But then when the experience doesn't work out in Ghana, all of a sudden, Africa is monolithic in one country. And that's the problem. There are several countries that, again, they're not going to give you citizenship on arrival, but there's an expedited process.
Right.
I
Like
mean,
ask Belle.
every
Belle can tell you about Rwanda because she's
yeah.
gonna be a Rwandan soon.
Okay. Can you give me a list of countries that will actually give you citizenship without having to jump through a bunch of hoops? Rwanda is one of them after 6 months.
You got Togo,
Sierra Leone, right?
Sierra Leone. If you take your DNA test and it comes back with one of the tribes of Sierra Leone, they'll give it to you. You got Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, so the information's out there. It's just the issue is
I'm gonna look
you
into
get
that.
so many people that just, again, Ghana is Africa, and because the red tape in Ghana, because of the red tape I experienced in Ghana, all of a sudden, it's representation of all 54 countries, other 54 countries in Africa. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, the white man is not Thanos. He does not have the Infinity Gauntlet. If he's Thanos, why don't he do something about North Korea? White supremacy is everywhere except there. There's a whole bunch of other places where they don't have no control over shit.
Yeah,
And
I don't
even
disagree
the
with that.
United States needs to have, to a certain degree, some international consensus. They can't just be a rogue nation. They have to have allies. So them being supreme is way overrated. The problem is we're not doing what we need to do. We're not closing up shop and dealing with ourselves. We keep dealing with these people. We put these white people at the center of our universe.
How do we deal with the coons and infiltration though? Because even if we go back to Africa, to any country in Africa, we're still going to, like, a lot of people still worshiping white Jesus. Like, they think that white people is God. So how do we can't get past that mental block? How do we go about not getting infiltrated?
Spies come with the territory. You ever read The Art of War?
Not yet.
Yeah, read The Art of War. They have a whole chapter dedicated to the spies, the different types of spies, and how you even use spies. So if you think you're going to have an organization or a nation and you ain't going to have spies, that's unrealistic. That's naive.
But so many of
Spies
our
exist,
people
but
is caught up into white Christianity and white Jesus, and oh God, it's just
they're not even
sickening.
going to be at the table,
Okay,
sis.
whoa, hold up. Now, sister, you're part of the NOI, right?
Yeah.
You know how many CIA agents are right now in the NOI?
Yep.
Is that gonna stop you? Are you gonna leave the organization? Like right
You mean
now, do you know the number of agents? Historically, the NOI is over infiltrated by agents.
I mean,
ask
that's
Minister DeWood. Minister DeWood had a dude that he thought was family, was breaking bread with this dude in his house, and he was a fucking agent.
You ask Farrakhan, he'll tell
Yeah.
you.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that at all, but I'm saying, like, the larger picture, like, we trying to build something and we got so many of our people who are worshiping white people. Like, how do I don't know, that shit is just discouraging to me. But that don't mean I'm saying I'm going to give up or anything. I'm gonna still push through, but that shit just
You got
irritates
to
me.
get with people of like mind, sis. There's a lot of, like, you know what? I always say this. Do you know that scorpions exist on this planet? Somewhere there's a scorpion that if the scorpion stings you, it'll kill your ass. Why should that bother me here in Brooklyn? There's
I
probably some
feel you.
black mamba snake that exists on the world that can do damage and kill you if it bites. It doesn't, if it's away from me, it's like that tree falling in the woods with no one around to hear it. If you surround yourself with people of like mind, you're not really that concerned about people who's bootlicking Negroes. I don't
That
deal
shit
with
is
bootlicking
annoying,
Negroes
man.
until I get on a live stream. That's really the only time I
You know
deal
what's
with them.
crazy? You know what's crazy? Hold up, me too.
Yeah. In your personal life, like I'm speaking to BAIO people every day. Like me and the sister Kexia, we've been on the phone for like hours. Not on the phone, but like on the computer for hours, working with codes, website codes. And I've been on the phone with Minister and Kala and the rest of them talking about infrastructure designs and new technology. Dundada, who's in construction. This guy, I mean, it's so many people we have in our organization that we can use as fuel. And we actually fuel each other because when we're dealing with Negroes 24/7, it's nice to come to a place where you have people of like mind and you're all about the same thing. And
Right.
sometimes, you know what, sis? I would argue that that thing that we say, just talking, I wish we would just talk with each other.
Mhm.
For real. Like, because sometimes it's not always about like black culture and you got to get into all this other history and stuff. How about, yo, sis, how you doing today? You cool?
Right. Mhm.
How about that? It's like we go to the movies with each other, we go out to eat and go to the restaurant. We associate and socialize with each other because that's the only way you're gonna move as a people. That's the important stuff to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The planning and stuff is gonna come, but the most important stuff is you got to build that. That's why I love the nation, man. I will never shit on the nation. Never shit on the nation. I love it because they have that sense of family, that sense of belonging to something.
Mhm.
You got to have that because you're not going to make moves with people that you don't trust. You're not going to make moves with people that like I don't. Dynas will ask me, "How you doing, Holip? What's up? How you
Mhm.
feeling?" That's important. It's not trivial to me. It really isn't. I think that we should talk to each other. We should hang out with each other. We should have some you know, respect for each other, man, and care about each other and love each other. I know that sounds corny.
Nah, that's what we need to do. And
Yeah,
we come from that. We come from love and togetherness and family. And even if y'all not, actually related, y'all still work together as a family. Like we come from that.
right.
That that was in our structure and our
I
principles. And
shouldn't
that shit
I
was
shouldn't have to
destroyed.
have a prerequisite of knowing the metu netta before I can come into the conversation with my brothers and sisters.
Right.
Facts. Facts.
I gotta break down the Dogon before I can come
Right.
and say, come on, man, we need to stop it with that bullshit. Let's love one another and try to be family to one another, and then we'll build from that. But we
But
ain't
see,
gonna
people
build nothing
don't
if
do
we
that.
just keep separating ourselves with bullshit.
People just be trying to argue. That's why at first I wasn't trying to come on here because I'm not trying to get into like an aggressive debate with nobody and then it's all about emotions and stuff. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to, what I'm saying, like
I
not
feel you. I feel you.
divide. I don't want to divide with my brothers and sisters. I don't want to do that.
I feel you. And like
We
I
don't
said,
want to do
like
that to get our point across.
that version you see of me is the me looking at the chat version. I can talk with anybody. I can have a conversation with even that person that was on before you. I can have a conversation with you, you know. But my thing is like like when people start coming at us, and especially if they start attacking Africa, then you're gonna get my bad side.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I hate people coming in the chat room trying to shit on Africa and trying to denigrate Africa. And I get a lot of that shit. And I get a lot of pushback from people. People hate my ass because I talk about having a nation. Like that automatically triggers them for some reason when I say we need to have our own shit. I don't understand why that would trigger you as a black person. It makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I definitely agree we should have our own nation, but I guess the part where I was initially triggered was when you was like kind of talking down on ADOS. But now that you said that you specifically meant Yvette Carnell and Tone whoever,
Yeah.
but I guess I don't know. I guess maybe you could be
Because
more
I'm an
specific
A,
next
like
time.
technically, if you go by the term, I'm ADOS.
Me too.
So I can't be against myself.
I just think you should be more specific. Like anybody that doesn't necessarily agree with Yvette Carnell and them, like I think y'all should be specific and say that because when you say
No, but see,
ADOS,
sister, not to cut you off, we've said that.
Yeah, we
That's,
have been specific.
we saying
I
that.
think it's when you came in the conversation at the wrong time. We've been very specific about this. Very specific. Like when I speak, if you go back and you listen to the previous shows, you hear me talking about, and I mentioned actually I got into it with one of the guys about that, what we're talking about.
And in fact, Holip warned me about supporting ADOS because of the people who are the faces of it.
So I am not against reparations. I'm not against descendants of slaves. I'm not against any of that. What I'm against is people who represent us who are disingenuous and causing division.
Like I give you a prime example. Tone Talks. So Burna Boy, who is a Nigerian artist, won a BET award for Best International Artist. Burna Boy's mother accepted the award and said, no matter where you're from, if you're black, you're Africa. Tone Talks sends out a tweet saying that she's trying to sabotage like she specifically did that in order to sabotage the ADOS conversation and that Africans don't consider themselves African. That's the disingenuous shit that we're talking about. When I'm in Africa, I got Africans basically saying if you're black, you're African.
period.
So
Period.
that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
and Holub warned me about that, but I'm like, okay, these cats aren't that stupid, but they really are.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say to not having Africa in the name is just so that these white supremacists can't use our words against us. That would be my only argument there. Besides that, I'm Africa all day. Period. Like, we just have to be very specific about the words that we use. Like, even calling out, that's why I don't call myself no person of color. I don't refer to myself as no minority, because these words get used against us. And if we're identifying with something that can be used against us, then it's just going to keep going in the same cycle. We're never going to get anywhere with it.
Can I the sister that is behind the AU, what's her name, Dinez?
Ericana, Dr. Ericana.
She says she's talking about the one Wakanda One Village project.
Right.
If sister has a email address, I'll send her this article. But she says the project targets Africans in the diaspora who want to help build the continent to the level they want it to be. When you talk about a good Africa or returning home, many people say, well, Africa is not what I'm used to. And to that, I always tell them, then build the home you want. She added, we don't even realize we are on an autopilot waiting for the white man to build this civilization for us. So we are taking our destiny into our own hands and creating something built for and by the people of the African diaspora. She described the village as a place to which those who left Africa, either by choice or by force, would hopefully want to return. And Zambia and I believe Zimbabwe have already dedicated land to that project. So there goes the African hate us meme.
Who said that? Who said Africans hate us? I never said that.
No, not you. I'm not saying. I'm saying that for the people that always like I said, the guy he mentioned, and Yvette Carnell and the rest of those crew, they have this thing that Africans can't stand us. Africans are trying to get African Americans over to their land because it's a mutually beneficial relationship. The smart ones are. I don't really pay much attention to the African immigrants that come from the continent or over here talking shit about African Americans. I really don't pay that much attention to them. I really don't. I speak mainly to continental Africans, people that are there.
Are you guys saying that those Africans don't represent the majority? Are they a minority?
Oh,
So
course, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. The night and day when you're on the continent. And
Think about it this way. Tell me if I'm wrong, Dinez. If let's say hypothetically we was to build an Afrikstan on a continent and it's controlled by African Americans, and a couple or a faction of people wanted to take over Afrikstan and become an elite in Afrikstan and basically impoverish the people of Afrikstan. You know what would happen to those people?
They'll get ran out.
They'd be fucking dead. So what does it say about somebody who ran from their native country over to America? You allowed a small group of people to control and make your land corrupt. Why didn't you and the people get together and kick the motherfuckers out? So you over here running to America, leaving your own land, and now you're going to talk shit about African Americans? That's the type of people we talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't put much stock. No, they don't represent all the people on the continent. Most of the people, like I said, my experiences with continental Africans has been 99% good.
Mine too. I've dealt with a couple coons, but for the most part,
yeah, I met some coons. I had some coon cab drivers in New York.
Right.
But other than that, the vast majority of my interactions with Africans, they look at me as a brother.
Exactly.
I've never felt like a stranger around Africans. So people who say that, I don't know. I don't know. That has not been my experiences. Maybe that is their experience, but it has not been mine.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Because I don't want to go to the I'm be mad as hell if I go to the continent and all I see.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That's what I'm trying to get away from.
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with that. Oh my God.
Well, thank God you let her on the show, Dinez, because she cleared this energy up real good.
Right.
All right,
But yeah, definitely. I'm sorry for the miscommunication, but yeah, I'm speaking about specifically those people under that umbrella, under that branch of the ADOS. As far as didn't they come up with the term? Am I incorrect with that?
What term?
ADOS.
from my understanding, yes. Then I've heard another story where, okay, they did actually, they did. But
That's
then
what
I
I
think
thought.
another guy created a flag, and they were saying like that's not the official flag, but they did, yes.
That other guy, he created it. I think his was DOAS, Descendants of American Slaves. I think that's what his was. And yeah, he had a flag, but he turned out to be a coon. He over
Okay.
here hugging up on white people and shucking and jiving.
Mm.
Is that the light skinned guy with the braids?
I'm talking about an older guy. I seen
Oh, that's
somebody
right. He's
had
an older guy.
exposed
Okay,
him. The
right.
old yeah, the older guy was shucking and jiving with some Australian people, and that just ruined the whole energy.
And you know what's funny? Yvette always talks about she's got the data and the research. I've never denied that they're very good with the data and the research. And she uses a lot of sources that I use, except that their conclusions are different than mine. Like they'll use the same sources that I use to show all of the hardships that we go through in America. But they use that to then turn around and say, see, that's the reason why we need to go to the government for money. I'm like, whoa, hold on. What? I draw a totally different conclusion than them. But a lot of the sources that they use, I use them. So their research is fine. I have a problem with their conclusion and I have a problem with their anti-African sentiment. Because to me, that's counterproductive.
Exactly.
And it's unnecessary. Why are you going to war with African immigrants? Handle your business, dude.
And this is and the other problem is like they'll target African immigrants more than they will these other groups have
Exactly.
proven to be way more
Exactly.
adverse. You got Hispanic gangs right now in LA who have green lighted black families to kick them out of the neighborhood. When I
Exactly.
say
That's been
green
going
light,
on for
like
years.
guns, yeah.
We gotta chill with all this tribalism. Like that goes for us and in the continent. Like even with our religions, like our religions is tribalism. Like we gotta just unite and just we don't have to agree on every little thing. We don't have to be best friends, but we just need to drop the tribalism. I think that's a big issue. And yeah, we don't be having the same energy with all these other people that we do each other.
Right.
Like that's
Like
stupid.
I totally reject this concept that the continental African and the African American is two separate like beings. They're like two separate entities. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like this is some fundamental difference between us. The only difference is the land that we was raised on.
I had to slightly disagree with that. No, we're the same people, but in America, we have a claim for reparations that the continental African don't have. So,
That's
in
a
terms
totally
of
separate issue that I agree with, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our people are one. Yeah, we have different claims based on where we're from and different situations. Yeah, that goes without saying. But we're not some separate animal from each other.
right, yeah, I agree with that totally. But I think when you say that, people can get triggered because then they'll think, oh, well, because that's kind of muddy in the waters in terms of this conversation for reparations. That would muddy the waters for that. Because then if we're saying that we're all the same, then now we're now going to give continental Africans our reparations. No, that wouldn't be right. Continental Africans need to go to the people that enslaved them, the
And I agree.
French
I
and
agree with
whoever.
that 100%.
We agree. I agree with that. I
Yep.
agree.
Just wanted to clear
But
that.
we also got to be careful of people intentionally muddying those waters when people are not saying that too. Because
Right.
it's a lot of games going on. A lot of games going on. Because I've been dealing with these disingenuous Negroes all of my life, man. All of my life. That's why I say I know when it's like I can tell you're coming into this whole discussion as an honest player. I may not agree with every single thing that you're saying, and you may not agree with every single thing I'm saying, but at least you're coming into it with the right spirit. There's a lot of people out here, they don't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a fuck about black people on the continent, and they don't give a fuck about black people in America.
Right.
And these people have been raised up to leadership and representation is supposed to be talking for us. If that, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Did you see that hearing for HR 40?
HR 40 was a fuck. HR 40 in
Those
itself is a joke.
motherfuckers is supposed to be representing me.
Absolutely not. You know, that's just something that the white supremacists came up with to kind of muddy the fucking waters, to kind of get us to stop talking about reparations, but we're not. That's not going to discourage us. Like, that was a big joke. And Jason Black, the Black Authority on YouTube, you could actually look that up. He broke down that whole HR 40 thing. Like, that HR 40 thing is not reparations. It's not at all. It's a study about another damn study.
I
It's
just
nothing.
broke it down on a video that I did on my channel.
It's not. It's literally nothing. So people is getting behind that, and then they want to start us having conversations about arguing about should we have HR 40, and HR 40 is not reparations. I'm not fighting for that shit, and no intelligent black person should be fighting behind that anyway.
Right. HR 40 is a study. It's for putting together a committee to study reparations. It's not
nothing.
reparations.
And the leader of it is Sheila Jackson Lee woman. She's a Jamaican. She's not even ADOS. So why is she in the front of this shit?
Wait, she's not. Wasn't Conyers the one that introduced that?
It was Conyers.
Yeah, Conyers is the one behind that bill.
It's just I think Sheila Lee Jackson just kind of picked up the torch.
Yeah, but she shouldn't even be involved. Period. Like you're not. Why are you even?
Yeah, but she technically represents. I mean, she's part of the Black Caucus. I'm sure of it. So technically, she,
The Black Caucus.
Caucus, exactly. I'm sorry.
The Congressional Black
the
Caucus.
Congressional Black Caucus, exactly.
Exactly. They don't. How
yeah.
do we get them out of office? Because they have not represented black people. They're on some immigration stuff. Like if you go.
Well, let me ask you this: Have you been to their website?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Have you read their objective?
I didn't. I saw too many damn immigrants.
Okay. Well, you need to go back and read the. You need to go back and read the objective. The Congressional Black Caucus is doing what they're supposed to do per their objective.
And they do not represent us. Like we need to seriously, like, I don't know how we gonna do it, but we need to figure a way to knock them the fuck down because they do not represent us. I'm offended that they even call themselves.
Well, again, have you been to their website? I mean, you have. Have you read their objective? Go back.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, they're doing what they said they were set to. Like, if you read their objective, you'll understand why they're focused on illegals and everybody.
See, the reason why we get tricked generally is because the conscious community and the cultural conscious community loves the vague and the abstract. They're not about tangible and the concrete. And that's the reason why we can get sent on all of these false flags and down dark alleys and all this other stuff and get taken off courses because everything's vague. It's like just like when you talk about black folks, we don't really have any black land. So we don't have any unified black language that's separate from the language that we speak in here in America. So it kind of gets, kind of muddy into when, and then you hear people say, well, what is black? That's I love that one. That's the funniest one. Because the only time we talk about what is black and when it comes time for power. When it comes time to kicking at somebody's ass and discriminating against and having racism against, we know exactly who black people is. But the moment we start talking about reparations, now all of a sudden black is ambiguous. And that's what I'm afraid of when you start talking about individuals, because every motherfucker in the world is going to be black if they pass a bill that they're going to dole out reparations to individuals. I'm quite sure there's going to be some stories where you're going to have some lily white women getting a black reparations check. I guarantee
that's why
you.
You have to have rules and stuff around it. Like, you need to be able to.
I don't trust them to have rules, sis. You know why?
Back to the plantation. You need to identify as black on all your paperwork for your whole entire life.
But you know why I don't trust them to do that?
Then you're not black.
You know why I don't trust them to do that? Because they don't. How am I supposed to trust that they're going to cross the I's and dot the T's when it comes to that, when they're afraid to even form organization amongst themselves?
We need to be in charge.
They don't even want a nation to form a government amongst themselves, and then now we expect that they're going to be on point when it comes to doling out reparations.
It's not a them. It's a us. It's a we. We need to be in charge of that. We need to.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Thank you.
We're not leaving it up to the white supremacists to decide who's going to get this and who's going to get that.
No, I'm not talking about the white supremacists. I'm talking about the Negroes. who trying to position themselves to be in charge of this
Absolutely
reparations
not.
thing.
Absolutely the fuck not. No.
Yeah,
You see
that's
that
what I'm
dude,
talking about.
that Coleman Cruz dude dancing on poles and shit in his
Man,
underwear?
okay. I gotta find, hey, sister. I gotta find. Email me that. I gotta show this to you, bro. Now this is the guy that's supposed to be representing us.
Right.
Hold
He
on.
was pole dancing in his whitey tighties.
And let me say this. You know, back in the day, I used to be somewhat of a half coon, but I wasn't trying to but I wasn't trying to sabotage, you know, the black community. You know, I just kept my half coonery to myself.
Sis, do you have an email address? Because I want to send you this article.
Yeah. I don't want to give it on live.
Don't give it online, but
Well, do this. Email me and I'll send it to Holip.
yeah.
Okay. You
Okay,
can
I
forward it to
already
him. You
got it.
got my email.
You already got it. Yeah, so I'll just forward it to Holip. That's fine.
Yeah, forward him my email.
Okay. Cool. I mean,
I'll put mine out there. It's holipsism@gmail.com. Any clown want to come at me, come at me. I don't give a shit. And they don't come at me too. Like they never come at me directly. All these people talking this shit never come at me directly. I have live streams. They'll come on a live stream and try to troll, but you know Bell is usually there and snapping the gauntlet on them.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Bell, Thanos.
And then if you notice on that whole HR 40 reparations bullshit, you know, they basically got everybody on there to say that they don't want reparations. We shouldn't receive a check. We shouldn't get this. We shouldn't get that. That was the narrative that they were really driving, and they got that from their masters. So we definitely don't agree with that shit.
So wait a minute. So one of the guys that was at the hearing is pole dancing?
Bro, you got it. I got it. Sister, can you find so I can just show Holip? I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find that. I told you the name of his album. You know, I'm a pussy.
You're talking about the young guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a video of him again pole dancing in some like a diaper on a New York subway.
God
in front of everybody.
I'm not even sure where it is, to be honest.
I've seen it. Pause. But you know, I'm just yeah. Pause.
I
But
know.
you know, I'm just
I know Jason Black or the Black Authority had he showed it on one of his videos when he was talking about it. Did Tariq Nasheed post it?
Yeah, he probably did, but yeah, it's just
might
like
be
I
on
said,
Tariq
when I was doing my half coonery, I just cooned to myself. You know, I didn't try to come in and sabotage stuff, but you know,
it's probably on Tariq Nasheed's Twitter. I can't go to it right now because I'm on the phone, so I don't want to like exit out of this live.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, next time.
Yeah, but actually, you should probably do a whole show about that shit because I mean, it's just so much about this dude and the other people that were involved. I mean, you could really do a whole show about that alone. Like, it was just a complete fucking circus. Like, nothing serious came out of that discussion at all. They do not represent us at all. That shit was a disgrace.
Hold on, I think I might have found it. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me just picture this.
You gonna screen share?
Yeah, I'm a screen share. But go ahead. I'm just trying to this thing.
Somebody asked for me to show that Yvette Carnell is anti-African, so I put up the Pan-Africanism is dead video. And there's some Facebook stuff that I really can't post because she blocked me. Me and her got into it on Facebook that was anti-African. Because, like I said, one of the things that really kills me is don't call time out if you coming out like Brock Lesnar. Don't be afraid if I come out like Brock Lesnar too. So she came out with all this stuff about, see what's happening on the continent. So then I start dropping bomb after bomb about all the bullshit we go through in America. Now everybody want to call a timeout. How come y'all talking about the stuff in America?
Hold on. And shout out to Mufasa. I think he just sent it to me. Hold on. I'm about to pull this up real quick. You got to see this, bro. I mean, pause. You know, huge pause. But I'm just saying, hold on one second. Let me pull this up.
And he loves white people. If you go to his Instagram, I forgot what his Instagram was. I think it might be his name, but if you go to his Instagram page, he's all hugging up on
My
white
question
people.
is, if you're not for reparations, why are you at the fucking hearing?
That's a good question. I mean, you got a point, I guess, to hear both sides of the story. I mean, I don't, you know.
I thought that the whole purpose was to push the bill forward.
Exactly.
So why you have some Negro there saying, we shouldn't have no reparations? Like, what the fuck are you doing there?
And then he was in another video talking about he doesn't embrace his Puerto Rican side because he can get more out of embracing being black in America.
Yeah.
Like, he literally said that. So
too many fucking people in the conversation that shouldn't be in the conversation. Like I said, if I have an electrical problem in my house, I only want to talk to electrician.
Here we go. So hold on. Let me
you got it.
hold on, let me share the screen. Hold on. Like I said, you know, I used to be half cooning back in the day, but I kept that to myself. You know, I didn't try to, you know, I wasn't trying to sabotage, you know, anything anybody was trying to do. So
I feel you, Dinus.
This is our representative right here that was representing us at the reparations panel. That's him right there. Hold up. There you go.
Play the video.
Is that your subway? Hold up.
Play the video.
Gee whiz. No, he couldn't have did this. He couldn't have did this on my line.
Go play the video, yo.
I can't find a video, but this is the. In fact, you know, I think I found a video, but
I guarantee you that dude ain't go to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Is that your line, hold up?
Nah.
The video was even worse. Oh my god.
Man, he
was walking around like can't nobody say it's Photoshop. He can't deny it.
Yeah, but those are the people that they get to speak. Oh, Dinah, you send me her email?
Oh, let me do it right now.
Yeah. Those are the people that represent us.
And they intentionally do that shit. That's why we're running up on politicians now and putting the camera in their face. That's why. Because they purposely go out their way and they make those people the people that are supposed to represent us.
Well, see, this is the problem when you're in America, because there's a lot of money to be made by being a sellout. Like, if you can get paid if you tell the white man, listen, I will go in there and tell you I will say all the shit that you want to say, but you can't. And I'll say it. And they will pay you handsomely to do it. There's people making a great living off of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I just
that's one of the downfalls of being in this country. I don't understand this love affair with America. I really don't.
But hey, man, we'll go ahead, anything you guys want to share in closing, go ahead and we'll close out. But let me do this first. Let me shout out the brother College Genesis, his book. Someone was asking me about Liberia. Journey to the Promised Land, Voyage of the Bark Azor. You guys have to get this book. Powerful book by the brother College Genesis. Make sure you got the book. Very powerful.
I got it too.
Yeah. So guys, support the brother by the book. But in closing, anything you'd like to share, Angie, they will move it to you, Holip.
No, I appreciate the conversation. I think that it was productive. I think we're on the right track, and as long as we keep being respectful with one another, you know, we can move forward. We can make a lot of shit happen if we just can come on common ground and be respectful towards each other. And I think everybody should take that stance. And I appreciate y'all letting me on.
Make sure you join the BIO as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check that out right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, I was gonna, I know I'm not a good representative of the BAIO because that's what I was told in the chat room. But despite that, join the BAIO network. When you join up, don't come into our group talking that where to land at bullshit. We don't know you. You could be anybody. Could be a white person. I want somebody to meet your ass so we know you're a real person. So go and join up to the BAIO, join your local chapter, get with people of like mind, and we can help, get this thing rolling, man. That's all I gotta say.
Cool. And then also too, Holip, shout out your channel. I posted the link in the chat room a couple times. So go subscribe to Holip's channel.
Oh yeah, Mr. Holip Sism. Just do a search on the YouTube for Mr. Holip Sism, and you'll see my channel.
Got you.
Please subscribe. Whoever I'm getting to, when I get to my next tier of subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a book, The Art of War.
That's what's
That'll
up.
give
So
you some incentive.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. If you're new to the platform, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also go to Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, Search for Uhuru. Peace.
Peace.